Chapter 465. Everyone, you didn't hear wrongly just now. This isn't a black essence stone mine but a blue essence stone mine. However, this blue essence stone mine was very difficult to obtain. Moreover, there was a swarm of void exploding golden wasps in this place. The power of the void explosive golden wasps, I don't need to say much, everyone should be very clear about it. Fortunately, this swarm of void explosive golden wasps had just moved in not too long ago, so there were not many of them. We have more than 100 people here. As long as we pay attention to the method, we can definitely exterminate these void explosive golden wasps. Su Liangji stood up and spoke with cupped fists. Some cultivators who didn't know yet were so excited that they trembled when they heard about the blue essence stone mine. Blue essence stone mine, There were no blue coins in the rootless Black City. Once one left the rootless Black City, one would definitely need blue coins the most. These cultivators even ignored the void explosive golden wasps behind them. However, not everyone would ignore the void explosive golden wasps. The void explosive golden wasps were a name that not a single cultivator within the void did not fear. This kind of wasps always lived in groups, with the largest being a few feet in length. This type of wasp had two main methods of attack. One was sucking, and the other was exploding gold. After being nailed by the beak of this wasp, even the most powerful cultivator would be sucked into pieces. What was even more terrifying about these wasps was their ability to explode gold. The void explosive golden wasp's huge stinger could self-destruct, and after the stinger exploded, it would release a dense and terrifying golden light. Not only did these golden lights contain powerful toxins, but once they entered the body, they would also dissipate in the blood essence, making it extremely difficult to treat. Because of this, the void explosive golden wasps had such a huge reputation. Most cultivators, after encountering these void explosive golden wasps, would take the initiative to escape, and would never come to confront these void explosive golden wasps. None of the cultivators who came here were below the crucible transformation realm. Moreover, since they could survive in the rootless Black City until now, none of them were simple people. After feeling pleasantly surprised, the cultivators quickly understood how dangerous this matter was. Void explosive golden wasps. If there were too many void explosive golden wasps here, not to mention more than 100 crucible transformation cultivators, even more than 1,000 crucible transformation cultivators would not be enough. The pleasant surprise turned silent, and the air froze. Su Liangji, who had already guessed that such a situation would occur, spoke up in a cold voice. Everyone, what is the purpose of our cultivation? Of course, it is to stand at a higher peak. Could one stand at the highest peak just by hiding in a cave? Would cultivation resources come to him on their own? Not to mention you, even I, Su Liangji, the junior city master of the rootless Black City, would have to come out and search for cultivation resources on my own. Yes, the void explosive golden wasps are indeed powerful, but we do not need to fear them. We have a formation master here, who can set up a defensive formation wall, and then kill them one by one. As long as we completely kill these void explosive golden wasps, we would have the opportunity to obtain the blue essence stone mine. Does everyone think about the value of blue coins? Moreover, I also promised to kill the top 10 collaborators with the number of void explosive golden wasps, and I will only take 20% of the loot. If you want to leave, I won't force you. You can leave now. Because of the words of the junior city master, the crucible transformation cultivators immediately quietened down. Let them leave? Could it be that they were courting death? Without a void ship, from this place to the rootless Black City, other than courting death, was there any other way? Su Liangji waited for a while, before speaking up with satisfaction. Good, since everyone is unwilling to leave, then let's start. Since I am the leader of this organization, then I should bear the greatest responsibility. I will lead some people to deal with the wasp's nest, while the rest of you can rely on the array formations to prevent the void explosive golden wasps from returning. Hearing that Su Liangji was going to deal with the wasp's nest, while the others were only responsible for dealing with the ordinary void explosive golden wasps, the surrounding noises decreased by a lot. The void explosive golden wasp's nest was definitely the most powerful. Since Su Liangji said so, then there should not be any problems. A few cultivators could see through Su Liangji's selfishness, most likely wanting the things inside the wasp's nest. Unfortunately, they did not have the strength to compete with Su Liangji. Start. As Su Liangji spoke, several array formation masters rushed out and began to arrange a defensive array formation. Ning Cheng, who was hiding in the distance, stared at Su Liangji. He knew that this was the best time to launch a sneak attack. He was sure that if he launched a sneak attack now, Su Liangji, whose entire focus was on dealing with the void explosive golden wasps, would most likely die at his hands. Ning Cheng thought about it over and over again before deciding not to take any action. He did not arrange any entrapment formations in advance, nor did he arrange any killing formations in advance. Moreover, he did not think that Su Liangji would not be able to see through the array formations that he arranged. In fact, Ning Cheng now understood that he did not make the wrong choice. The most powerful array formation master around Su Liangji was already close to the standard of a rank 7 array formation. Moreover, Su Liangji was extremely careful. When he got off the airship, these array formation masters had already checked the surroundings. This fellow was definitely not the kind of person who would relax his vigilance after arriving. Even if he knew that this was the best time to take action, Ning Cheng still did not take action. He understood Su Liangji's thoughts. Su Liangji's main focus was not on the blue essence stone mine, but on the void explosive golden wasps. Ning Cheng also knew about the void explosive golden wasps. This void insect was definitely a first-class killer. However, there were only a few void explosive golden wasps in this place. Ning Cheng did not need to guess at all to know that this was the void explosive golden wasp's wasp king. The void explosive golden wasp's most powerful creature was the wasp king, which was somewhat similar to the insect queen he had seen on Earth. However, the wasp king was different from the insect queen. It was not responsible for giving birth to offspring. It only had one task, and that was to rule the entire void explosive golden wasp swarm. No matter how many void explosive golden wasps there was only one wasp king. Moreover, the wasp king was definitely the insect queen. Only when the old wasp king knew that it was going to die, would it find a safe place to give birth to a new wasp king. The new wasp king had the aura of a wasp king. Regardless of the void explosive golden wasps, as long as they met the wasp king, they would immediately surrender. Once the two wasp kings met, it would result in a duel of life and death. The last to survive would be the new wasp king. There were void explosive golden wasps in this place, and not many of them. Most likely, when the wasp king was about to die, it would bring its most trusted void explosive golden wasps to this place to pass on its offspring. Su Liangji's main purpose was definitely not the blue essence stone mine, but the void explosive golden wasp's descendants. Once he obtained the descendants of the void explosive golden wasps, it would be like adding wings to a tiger. A void explosive golden wasp king that could recognize its master was more valuable than countless blue essence stones in this place. Now that he knew that Su Liangji was a void explosive golden wasp, how could Ning Cheng kill Su Liangji at this time? His thoughts immediately shifted to the void explosive golden wasp king. As long as he could obtain the wasp eggs of the void explosive golden wasp king, in the future within the void, what else would he have to fear? As several array formation grandmasters threw out their array flags, bursts of ear-piercing buzzing sounds emerged, followed by a huge void explosive golden wasp swarming out. A crucible transformation 4th level cultivator did not even have the time to bring out his magical weapon before a void explosive golden wasp nailed him in the mouth, before turning him into slag at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ning Cheng felt a chill run down his spine. Was this Su Liangji crazy? There were at least 1,000 void explosive golden wasps in this place. Moreover, their ranks were not low. Did this fellow bring 100 people here, and wanted to take away the wasp king's egg? Su Liangji's complexion also drastically changed, as he anxiously spoke up. Hurry up and bring out your defensive magical weapons. The number of void explosive golden wasps here has increased by more than 10 times. The last time we came here, there were only 100 of them. Ning Cheng immediately understood that many of the void explosive golden wasps came from behind. The array formation that had just been arranged was directly blown apart by thousands of void explosive golden wasps. More than 100 crucible transformation cultivators, as well as a plundering life realm cultivator, ended up completely surrounded by the void explosive golden wasps. Even Su Liangji, who was preparing to go to the wasp nest, could not escape from the void explosive golden wasps. At this time, not to mention going to the wasp nest, just escaping from the wasp swarm was already a stroke of luck. Ningcheng carefully probed out with his spiritual consciousness. The effects of the origin cultivation method and the origin aura were fully manifested at this moment. His spiritual consciousness merged with the surrounding void. If not for a cultivator much stronger than him, they would not have been able to detect it at all. Ningcheng quickly found what he had guessed. In the middle of a huge wasp nest, there were 2 basketball-sized giant eggs lying inside. A dispirited and exceptionally huge void explosive golden wasp lay inside the wasp nest. However, this void explosive golden wasp had not died yet, and even had a faint aura lingering around it. This should be the void explosive golden wasp king. A few dozen meters away from the wasp nest, there were dozens of void explosive golden wasps that had not moved. Apparently, these were the guardian wasps. Ningcheng's spiritual consciousness once again swept towards the scene of the void explosive golden wasps fighting against the cultivators in the distance, and carefully sneaked over. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, more than 50 cultivators had fallen, while the number of void explosive golden wasps had also reached 100 or 200. The plundering life realm cultivator was surrounded by 100 or 200 particularly large cultivators. Although he managed to kill the void explosive golden wasps from time to time, unfortunately, there were just too many void explosive golden wasps. Ningcheng was very careful. However, when he had just come into contact with the wasp nest, the wasp king, who had a dispirited expression on its face, immediately sensed it. In an instant, the hairs on the wasp king's body stood up and gave out a low chirp. Ningcheng secretly cursed in his heart, and brought out his nirvana spear before shooting it towards one of the titled king eggs. The wasp king instantly stood up and used its huge mouth to block Ningcheng's nirvana spear. At the same time, dozens of guardian wasps also rushed towards Ningcheng. However, Ningcheng did not intend to break the wasp king's egg. His purpose was to take away one of the wasp king eggs. Ningcheng's strategy played a key role. He attacked the wasp king egg that the void explosive golden wasp king had to save, while his spiritual consciousness instantly swept away the other wasp king egg, while simultaneously withdrawing his nirvana spear. The whole process took less than a breath of time. At this moment, the other dozens of void explosive golden wasps finally arrived. He could kill this void explosive golden wasp king. However, Ningcheng chose not to do so. It was not because the rest of the void explosive golden wasps had already rushed back, but because he did not want to kill this wasp king. When the void explosive golden wasp king in the wasp nest let out a low chirp, in addition to the guardian wasps, hundreds of void explosive golden wasps also swarmed back. The trapped crucible transformation cultivators immediately relaxed. Some of the cultivators even managed to escape. Su Liangji also quickly made his getaway. He knew better than anyone that the plan to capture the wasp king's egg had failed. Just as Su Liangji crazily sprinted towards the void ship, a long spear suddenly shot down from the void, and arrived in front of him in just a blink of an eye. A powerful killing intent invaded his body, causing him to feel a chill run down his spine. Chapter 466. Su Liangji was very familiar with this feeling. A few decades ago, he had been bound by a monk's Buddhist staff, and it was the same feeling of death. As a result, his corporeal body collapsed. If not for his father's timely arrival, Su Liangji would have already died in this world. With such a beautiful life, how could Su Liangji be willing to die? He crazily twisted his body, trying to find a different direction to get rid of this terrifying killing intent. But then he found that it was even more terrifying compared to a few decades ago. At this moment, his surroundings were completely under someone else's control. The space around him no longer belonged to him. At this moment, he could not even activate the escape talisman or any other life-saving means. Ningcheng, if you dare to kill me, my father will definitely grind your bones to ashes. Su Liangji felt incomparable regret in his heart. He should not have relaxed his vigilance against Ningcheng. Such a person dared to destroy the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. How could he fear his father, who was still in seclusion. He did not expect that this person would have such a firm heart to kill him. The moment he tried to escape from the void explosive golden wasps, he decided to launch a sneak attack. At this moment, he could not rely on anyone. The only one he could rely on was himself. Then I'll grind your father's bones to ashes. When Ning Cheng's ice-cold voice reached Su Liangji's ears, the Nirvana spear had already pierced through Su Liangji's glabella. Poof! A bloody light burst out, and Su Liangji's glabella turned into a bloody mist. His life essence could no longer escape, and Ning Cheng's Nirvana spear intent twisted it, destroying his spiritual soul. The moment Su Liangji died, an invisible shadow fell onto Ning Cheng's body before disappearing. Ning Cheng did not notice this indistinct shadow. He raised his hand and grabbed a ring, while simultaneously activating the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. The moment Ning Cheng disappeared, several crucible transformation cultivators and the plundering life realm cultivator arrived. There was only a gap of a single breath, which was more than enough for Ning Cheng to walk away. Within the rootless Black City's City Master Mansion, a powerful and incomparably angry aura suddenly rushed into the sky. Who dares to kill my son? A furious roar accompanied the angry aura, which echoed throughout the entire rootless Black City. Then a gray shadow streaked across the rootless Black City and disappeared into the endless void. Although the black shadow disappeared, the horrifying imposing manner and the powerful cultivation aura still caused all the cultivators within the rootless Black City to tremble. Even some of the cultivators in the plundering life realm turned pale. This aura was definitely beyond the plundering life realm. Even if he had not truly advanced, he was only a hair's breadth away from advancing. All the cultivators in the rootless Black City immediately understood who this person was. This person was definitely the City Master Su Kai of the City Master's Mansion. As the premier person of the rootless Black City, his son was without a doubt the rootless Black City's junior City Master, Su Liangji. At this moment, others did not even need to guess to know who killed Su Liangji. Apart from Ning Cheng, who dared to destroy the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce, who else would dare to kill Su Liangji? Some people felt lucky that they did not take the initiative to find trouble with Ning Cheng. This person even dared to kill the junior city master of the City Master's Mansion, so who else would he not dare to touch? If they went to find trouble with Ning Cheng, they would most likely become the next Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. Within the endless void, Ning Cheng was still frantically rushing forward. After killing Su Liangji, he felt a lot more comfortable in his heart. However, he was aware of Su Kai's strength. This person becoming the premier person of the rootless Black City was definitely not due to luck. Which force in the rootless Black City was not powerful and arrogant? How could it be so easy to stand at the top among these forces? Moreover, this Su Kai had gone into seclusion for hundreds of years, yet the prestige of the rootless Black City's City Master's Mansion had not declined at all. From this point alone, one could see that Su Kai was truly powerful. Without a safe route, Ning Cheng found it even more difficult to walk through the void. The endless void blade lights and the void turbulences, along with the meteorite flows that could appear at any time, made Ning Cheng feel very uncomfortable. In just one day, his twin wings of the heavenly clouds had already been damaged several times. Feeling that he was getting more and more dangerous, Ning Cheng finally stopped. This was definitely not the way to go. Moreover, he had a very dangerous premonition. That is, he always felt that Su Kai could find him. There was no reason for this. Ning Cheng decided to stop at a void island. He decided to stay here and see if there was anything wrong with him. Moreover, he also decided to arrange some killing formations in this place in case of an emergency. That Su Kai, no matter how powerful he was still a plundering life realm cultivator, and had yet to surpass the plundering life realm. Since he had arranged so many array formations, who could be sure that he would not be able to kill the other party? Ning Cheng had just dropped down dozens of array flags when he felt something wrong. A cyan lightning arc appeared in the void and reflected in his spiritual consciousness. Even in the void, it looked extremely dazzling. Was someone crossing a tribulation? Ning Cheng quickly confirmed that someone was crossing a tribulation in the void. The lightning arcs did not look as powerful as when he crossed the tribulation. However, Ningqing could feel that the intensity of this thunder tribulation was much higher than when he crossed the sea-opening realm's thunder tribulation. Ningqing had compared his thunder tribulation with other people's thunder tribulations. In other words, his thunder tribulation was far stronger than the thunder tribulations of cultivators of the same level. This person's thunder tribulation was so powerful that it definitely was not an ordinary advancement thunder tribulation. It was not even the thunder tribulation of a crucible transformation cultivator advancing to the plundering life realm. It was not the thunder tribulation of a crucible transformation cultivator advancing to the plundering life realm. Ningqing immediately felt shocked in his heart. Didn't that mean that the person crossing the tribulation was crossing a higher level thunder tribulation of the plundering life realm? This was the void. The closest place to him was the rootless Black City. Within this area, who could cross such a powerful thunder tribulation? Other than the rootless Black City's premier Su Kai. Who else could it be? Seeing Su Kai appear in this place, Ningqing's heart immediately sank. Just a moment ago, when his spiritual consciousness detected the location of the person crossing the tribulation, it was at most 1,000 or 2,000 miles away from him. It had only been a day since he killed Su Liangji. Even if Su Kai was powerful, how could he find this place in just one day? One had to know that he had to fly for nearly a month to reach the Blue Essence Stone Mine from the rootless Black City. However, this was not the most important thing. The most important thing was, how did Su Kai know his position? Ningqing did not believe that Su Kai just came here by chance. Ningqing's expression turned dignified. He knew that being anxious at this time would not help him. Sweeping his spiritual consciousness up and down his body several times, he finally found a faint spiritual consciousness mark on his body. Ningqing immediately understood that this spiritual consciousness mark should have attached itself to his body after he killed Su Liangji. At that time he was fully focused on escaping and did not even notice it. The more he thought about it, the calmer Ningqing became. No matter how Su Kai found this place, no matter why Su Kai wanted to cross the tribulation here, he had to come up with a way. If he waited for Su Kai to successfully cross the tribulation, then even if he tried to escape, he would not have any chance of survival. Thinking of this, Ningqing immediately stripped off the spiritual consciousness mark on his body, while simultaneously burning away the spiritual consciousness mark with a flame. While burning away the spiritual consciousness mark, Ningqing felt a powerful spiritual consciousness sweep over him. He knew that it was Su Kai. Su Kai was in the middle of crossing the tribulation, and was worried that he would escape. At this moment, Ningqing felt an impulse to leave this place. Since Su Kai was in the middle of crossing the tribulation, then there was no way for him to chase after him. Once he escaped far away, without Su Kai's spiritual consciousness mark on his body, Su Kai might not be able to catch up with him. However, Ningqing quickly dispelled this idea. Not only did he dispel this idea, but his spiritual consciousness also fell on the place where Su Kai was crossing the tribulation. He had already figured out one thing, that Su Kai definitely did not cross the tribulation voluntarily. It should be said that Su Kai was about to break through the plundering life realm and advance to a more powerful realm. Just when he was about to look for a place to cross the tribulation, his son Su Liangji died at his hands. After Su Kai learned of this, he immediately chased after him. As a result, his cultivation had reached a critical point, and under the eruption of his true essence, the thunder tribulation took the initiative to find him. Otherwise, he would never have taken the initiative to cross the tribulation before he decided to kill him. Ningqing increasingly felt that his guess was not wrong. His spiritual consciousness fell on the raging thunder tribulation arcs, and his eyes flashed with a hint of heat. At this moment, not only did he not escape, but he also rushed towards Su Kai. Su Kai felt extremely depressed in his heart. Without any pills to advance, he had gone into seclusion for hundreds of years, relying on his powerful foundation, and finally came out to cross the tribulation. However, he did not expect that his son would be killed at this time. How could he bear this anger? The powerful anger made him disdain to kill Ningqing at all costs before crossing the tribulation. Otherwise, even if it was a heart demon, he might not be able to cross it. However, this kind of powerful anger stimulated the true essence, which allowed his true essence to completely break free from the shackles, causing his thunder tribulation to suddenly descend. When the thunder tribulation descended, Sukai still did not feel very worried. He believed that he could cross the thunder tribulation. Even if Ning Cheng tried to escape, after crossing the thunder tribulation, he could then use his spiritual consciousness tag to kill this person. However, what he did not expect was that just as his thunder tribulation descended, Ning Cheng would immediately find his spiritual consciousness tag. Not only did he find it, but he even stripped it off. This made Sukai extremely anxious. In case Ning Cheng chose to leave now, once he left the range of his spiritual consciousness, it would be very difficult for him to find this person. What he did not expect was that after this idiot Ning Cheng removed his spiritual consciousness tag, not only did he not escape, but instead came towards him. Sukai just sneered in his heart. This person was just too arrogant. When he was crossing the tribulation, even if he did not do anything, as long as Ning Cheng got close to him, the thunder tribulation would turn him into ashes. What's more, as long as Ning Cheng came, how could he not make a move? A cultivator at the great circle of the plundering life realm was crossing the tribulation. Yet the other party, a cultivator at the sea-opening realm, dared to approach him? Sukai had never seen such a person who did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. At this time, he felt that it was not worth it for his son to die in the hands of such an idiot. You are Sukai, the cheap father of that junior city master Suliangji? Did you come here to kill me? Ning Cheng stood not far from Sukai, watching Sukai resist wave after wave of the thunder tribulation, while speaking in a calm tone as if he was just chatting. Sukai did not look much older than Suliangji, with his long hair fluttering in the wind, giving him a more confident look compared to Suliangji. Little bastard, did you think that this father would not be able to do anything to you after crossing the tribulation? Die for me. Sukai suddenly moved to a position not far from Ning Cheng, before raising his hand to grab Ning Cheng. Chapter 467. In fact, before he could even grab Ning Cheng, lightning arcs had already shot towards Ning Cheng. Any life that intruded into the thunder tribulation would be killed by the thunder tribulation. This was the majesty of the thunder tribulation. Since Ning Cheng was standing within the scope of the thunder tribulation, how could he be an exception? Ning Cheng immediately brought out the everlasting blue thunder city, and shot his nirvana spear towards Sukai before speaking up in a cold voice. Sukai, you better take care of yourself, idiot. Since he dared to come here, he naturally wasn't afraid of the lightning bolts. Therefore, when he attacked, he didn't even look at the lightning arcs that bombarded him. Sukai's hand paused slightly. He did not think that Ning Cheng would not only dare to attack him, but also did not even care about the lightning arcs. Could it be that this fellow was not afraid of death? How could a sea-opening realm cultivator not care about the tribulation lightning arcs of a plundering life realm cultivator? Boom boom boom. Several lightning arcs bombarded the everlasting blue thunder city and Ning Cheng's body, while at the same time a dozen lightning arcs also bombarded Sukai's body. Bang bang ka. Sounds of impact and explosions erupted, as Ning Cheng's clothes were directly torn apart by the lightning arcs, while his flesh and blood burst apart. However, the lightning arcs that bombarded the everlasting blue thunder city disappeared without a trace. What made Sukai dumbfounded was that although Ning Cheng's skin was lacerated, it did not affect him in the slightest. Moreover, Ning Cheng did not seem to care about it at all. Not only that, he even felt that Ning Cheng's aura had risen a bit. However, the lightning arcs that fell on top of his head made it impossible for him to continue observing. The lightning arcs that fell on his body were much more than the lightning arcs that fell on Ning Cheng's body. Several lightning arcs descended, causing Sukai's armor to emit green smoke in all directions. Cracking sounds could also be heard coming from his shield. Similarly, a few spurts of blood sprayed out from his body. No matter how high one's cultivation was, they could only resist the lightning bolts. However, this was not the end. Just as these lightning arcs descended, Ning Cheng's nirvana spear also shot out. Unexpectedly, Ning Cheng and the thunder tribulation arcs simultaneously attacked Sukai. The nirvana spear blasted out a majestic and boundless killing intent. Even the void blade lights in the surrounding void, and some of the drifting meteorites split apart under Ning Cheng's powerful spear intent. Such a powerful spear intent. Sukai had already retracted his hand that was about to grab Ning Cheng. and brought out a pair of heaven-terminating twin needles. The heaven-terminating dual needles shot out two scorching hot white lights that strangled Ningcheng's spear intent. Ningcheng's originally majestic and boundless spear intent was strangled by these two white lights, causing it to quickly weaken. In just a few breaths, this spear intent disappeared without a trace. Ningcheng was incomparably shocked in his heart. He was very clear about the power of his spear intent. Su Kai easily dissolved his spear intent, which put him at a disadvantage. But what was even more frightening was that the Thunder Tribulation did not put Su Kai in any more danger because of his interference. On the contrary, because of his interference, the Thunder Tribulation's damage to Su Kai was reduced. He had helped Su Kai by sharing the intensity of the Thunder Tribulation. This was helping him, not using the Thunder Tribulation to kill him. Thinking of this, Ningcheng quickly retreated. "Little bastard, do you still want to leave today?" When the third wave of Thunder Tribulation arcs came crashing down, Su Kai not only did not care about this Thunder Tribulation, the pair of heaven-terminating dual needles once again transformed into a vast white ocean. The killing power was just like a raging storm as it rolled towards Ningcheng. Even if Ningcheng did not join in, the Thunder Tribulation would not pose much of a threat to him. Now that Ningcheng had shared a part of the Thunder Tribulation arcs, he could completely ignore the rest of the Thunder Tribulation. Ningcheng's eyes flashed with a trace of decisiveness. He knew that if he did not find a way to use the Thunder Tribulation to help him, he would definitely die today. Su Kai's strength was something that he had not even thought about. His false domain, in front of Su Kai's formidable imposing manner, simply could not pose any threat. On the contrary, under Su Kai's imposing manner, he was forced to retreat step by step. Originally, he intended to use the everlasting Blue Thunder City to absorb the Thunder Arcs, and then try to use the Thunder Arcs from the everlasting Blue Thunder City to attack Su Kai together with the Thunder Tribulation. However, after realizing Su Kai's strength, Ningcheng gave up on this idea. He once again shot out with his Nirvana Spear, but this time he did not aim it at Su Kai, but rather flew towards the descending Thunder Tribulation arcs. The Thunder Tribulation had a spirit. This was something that Ningcheng already knew about. When he was surmounting his tribulation, the angrier he felt towards the Thunder Tribulation, the more powerful the descending Thunder Tribulation became. "You're courting death." Su Kai immediately understood Ningcheng's thoughts. Under the monstrous anger, the heaven-terminating dual needles' white ripples turned even more murderous. Ningcheng could survive under his Thunder Tribulation. He knew that apart from Ningcheng possessing a Thunder spiritual root, there was also the Thunder City's shadow, which was very strange. As for the Thunder City's shadow, he had already regarded it as his own. Ningcheng remained indifferent to the murderous ripples coming from the heaven-terminating dual needles, as he continued to gather the true essence within his body to crazily bombard the Thunder Tribulation arcs. Even if the berserk ripples from the heaven-terminating dual needles attacked him, it seemed that even if he died, he still wanted to attack the descending Thunder Tribulation arcs. Boom boom boom. The Thunder Tribulation finally became enraged, and the originally powerful Thunder arcs no longer had 9, but instead turned into 36. Wave after wave of Thunder arcs, just like a raging sea, rolled down from the void, mixed with a large thunder waterfall. Ningcheng did not feel any sadness or joy. He knew that these Thunder arcs had already calculated everything about him. As long as he was included in their calculations, then everything would be fine. He wanted to let this rootless Black City's city master experience Ningcheng's Thunder Tribulation. At this moment, he did not feel any fear, as he crazily bombarded the descending thunder waterfall. Su Kai's complexion changed dramatically. He had never seen such a terrifying Thunder Tribulation. In the face of such a Thunder Tribulation, how could he dare to be distracted for even half a moment? The heaven-terminating dual needles' white ripples, which were originally aimed at Ningcheng, were instantly taken back by him, and rolled towards the thunder waterfall. Boom boom boom. Ka-ka-ka. A variety of tearing and exploding sounds erupted in the void. There were no longer any spatial wind edges or meteorites in the surroundings. With this kind of terrifying bombardment and explosion, anything that existed in this area would be blasted into pieces by this kind of violent explosion. Hecha. Su Kai's armor finally cracked open, while the shield in his hands also turned into flying ash. The Berserk Thunder Waterfall and the Thunder Tribulation arcs fell onto the white ripples from Sukai's heaven-terminating dual needles, causing a fog to form. Just like the water vapor on the surface of a lake in the early morning, it completely enveloped the entire area. Puff puff. Several mouthfuls of blood sprayed out. Sukai's body no longer had an intact spot. Even for him, if he wanted to block such a terrifying thunder waterfall coupled with the Thunder Tribulation arcs, it would be extremely dangerous. Such a treacherous thing. Sukai once again spat out a mouthful of blood, before cursing. At this moment, Ningcheng was in a slightly better state compared to him, because Ningcheng still had the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Coupled with his Thunder Spiritual Root, he could also absorb the Thunder Source for his cultivation. The 36 Thunder Arcs coupled with the endless Thunder Waterfall finally weakened, causing Sukai's imposing aura to rise once again. Seeing that the next wave of the Thunder Tribulation had yet to descend, Sukai's eyes flashed with an extreme ferocity. The heaven-terminating dual needles merged into the void, while he crazily roared, "Little beast, die for me!" Boom boom boom. Sukai's heaven-terminating dual needles had just shot towards Ningcheng, when the endless Thunder Tribulation arcs and the Thunder Waterfall once again swept down. Ningcheng rolled up the Nirvana spear in his hands, before speaking to Sukai with disdain. "Old beast, you have never seen this grandpa surmount the tribulation. Do you think that the distance between the two waves of Thunder Tribulation arcs would be the same as the distance between you and the tribulation? Idiot!" Bang! Ningcheng's Nirvana spear exploded onto the heaven-terminating dual needles, white ripples of killing light, causing a powerful backlash force to blow Ningcheng away. Just that he was in the middle of the Thunder Arcs, the Berserk Thunder Arcs once again blasted Ningcheng back. Kaka! Sukai felt his internal organs exploding under the bombardment of the Thunder Tribulation arcs, while his second shield turned into flying ash. Under this kind of berserk and terrifying Thunder Tribulation arcs, even he would not be able to block it. What's more, his heaven-terminating dual needles were still attacking Ningcheng. When he once again recalled the heaven-terminating dual needles, he felt Ningcheng's imposing aura skyrocket. The next moment, the long spear in Ningcheng's hands, along with the Thunder Waterfall, unexpectedly shot towards his glabella. This little beast unexpectedly advanced to the 8th level of Sea Opening Realm under the Thunder Tribulation, causing Sukai to feel extremely shocked in his heart. Although there were still countless densely packed Thunder Tribulation arcs shooting towards Ningcheng, he did not feel even the slightest bit of joy in his heart. Kacha! The heaven-terminating dual needles, under the incomparably berserk Thunder Tribulation arcs and the Thunder Waterfall, finally cracked open. An incomparably thick Thunder Waterfall fell onto Sukai's body, directly blasting away half of Sukai's body. At the same time, Sukai also saw a Thunder Waterfall explode onto Ningcheng's shoulder. He did not see the same ending as him. What he saw was only the exposed white bones. This person not only had a Thunder Spiritual Root, and was able to resist the Thunder Tribulation arcs using the Thunder City's shadow, but he was also a body-forging cultivator. Sukai's heart sank. He regretted not rushing to find Ningcheng for revenge. He should have first advanced to the next level, and then come back to kill Ningcheng. Boomla! Several Thunder Tribulation arcs coupled with a Thunder Waterfall descended. Sukai crazily stimulated the heaven-terminating dual needles, wanting to block this wave of attacks. He could feel that the shackles on his body were on the verge of breaking. As long as he could block this wave of Thunder Tribulation, he would directly advance to the next level. At that time, even if there were several Ningchengs, it would not be enough for him to kill. Bang! The Thunder Arcs and the Thunder Waterfall fell onto Sukai's magical weapon, causing Sukai's entire body to tremble. The shackles on his cultivation suddenly shattered, causing a powerful force to erupt from his body. This kind of feeling was indescribable. Sukai's eyes flashed with a fiery light. He knew that he had successfully advanced at this critical moment, without even facing the Heart Demon Tribulation. As long as he was given 3 breaths of time, he would be able to control the Thunder Tribulation, and then kill Ningcheng. Not to mention 3 breaths. He did not even have a single breath of time. The moment he advanced, his true essence had not yet fully activated. when the Nirvana spear had already arrived between his eyebrows. What he saw was that incomparably powerful spear intent filled with murderous intent, and what he saw was a bloodied man covered in white bones. At this moment, that bloodied man covered in white bones crazily grabbed the Nirvana spear and shot it towards his eyebrows. At this moment, his willpower had already reached its weakest point. He had just advanced, yet he was about to be killed by someone. This kind of despair caused incomparable hatred to well up in his heart. Poof! Sukai clearly heard the sound of his head exploding. He even saw his eyes fill with a bloody mist. He actually ended up being killed by an ant in the sea opening realm, causing him to feel extremely unreconciled. Chapter 468. Ji Luofei hugged the dying Ning Cheng and hid in a small void island. Even with the help of the Thunder Tribulation, Ning Cheng had to pay a huge price to kill Sukai. This kind of injury, for him, was something he had never experienced before. Fortunately, he still had Ji Luofei. Ji Luofei was a crucible transformation cultivator. Although she could not quickly escape through the void like Ning Cheng, it was not a problem for her to save Ning Cheng. It took Ning Cheng more than a dozen days to fully recover. Although he did not fear the Thunder Tribulation, the Thunder Tribulation was still too terrifying. Even if he advanced to the 8th level of Sea Opening Realm, he still suffered some serious injuries. You were too reckless this time. Ji Luofei did not cultivate these days and just stayed by Ning Cheng's side. When she thought of Ning Cheng's injuries at that time, she immediately felt some fear. Ning Cheng showed a smile. Fortunately, I chose to act at that time. Otherwise, once that Sukai completed his tribulation, I'm afraid that we would have met with disaster. This person is just too terrifying. His cultivation is so powerful that I can't even imagine it. An ordinary plundering life realm cultivator would not be his opponent. No wonder he is the premier expert of the rootless Black City. What do we do now? Do we return to the rootless Black City? Although the laws of the void are powerful, it is also very unstable. Ji Luofei had walked through the void for a day, and was already aware of the dangers within the void. Ning Cheng nodded. Returning to the rootless Black City is a must. However, my current cultivation is still too low. Let's see if there are any good things in the Su clan's father and son's ring. Ning Cheng opened Su Liangji's ring. Seeing the tens of millions of black coins, Ning Cheng secretly sighed. He had been busy for a long time, yet he only managed to obtain a little more than 10 million black coins. Spirit stones piled up one after another, along with a variety of black essence stone ores, artifact crafting materials, and some alchemy spiritual grasses piled up everywhere. It was extremely rare for an ordinary crucible transformation cultivator to obtain a true artifact. As such, inside Su Liangji's ring, there were at least a dozen true artifacts. Ning Cheng's vision was very high. As such, he simply did not even look at it. He put away all the materials, and gave the ring to Ji Luofei. Ji Luofei's magical weapon was a gift from Meng Jingxiu. As such, the quality of it was a notch higher than Ning Cheng's true cosmic devil axe. As such, it was obvious that she did not even look at these true artifacts. What he cared about the most was Sukai's ring. Sukai, as the rootless Black City's premier expert, definitely had a lot of good things on him. However, what made Ning Cheng puzzled was that he did not see any black coins in Sukai's ring. However, Ning Cheng also knew where Sukai's magical weapons went. He had seen with his own eyes that Sukai, in order to resist the Thunder Tribulation, had wasted several good magical weapons. Inside Sukai's ring, in addition to several bottles of pills and a pile of spirit stones, the most eye-catching thing was a pile of blue ores. This was a blue essence stone mine? Ning Cheng could feel the energy overflowing from these ores, and immediately affirmed that this was a blue essence stone mine. How many blue coins could this pile of blue essence stone or be exchanged for? This Sukai was really rich. His wealth was something that others could not even imagine. When Ning Cheng felt very satisfied with these harvests, his spiritual consciousness immediately grabbed more than a dozen jade boxes. He raised his hand and opened one of the jade boxes. There was a crystal shining with powerful spiritual energy inside. Ning Cheng was so pleasantly surprised that he almost called out. This kind of crystal stone was something that he really wanted. Meng Jingxiu had given him 3 of them, allowing him to advance again and again in the shortest possible time. Ning Cheng had initially thought that it would be difficult to obtain this kind of crystal stone, but he did not expect that he would obtain so many of them this time. Ning Cheng counted them, and found that there were a total of 12 of these crystal stones. No wonder this Sukai's cultivation was so powerful, and could even break through to the plundering life realm. It turned out that this fellow also had this kind of crystal stone. However, Ning Cheng did not know where this fellow's crystal stones came from. In addition to this, there were also a few jade strips containing cultivation methods and magical skills. There were also more than a dozen transmission array talismans, which made Ning Cheng understand why Sukai could arrive here so quickly. This fellow had already arranged a few hidden transmission arrays in the void. Once there was an emergency, he could immediately teleport to the approximate location that he wanted to go to in the shortest possible time. Although it was dangerous to teleport through the void, however, for an expert like Sukai, he could still withstand the dangers of such a short distance. In Ning Cheng's eyes, these crystal stones were the most precious. Luofei, let's go into secluded cultivation. After I advance to the crucible transformation realm, I will then return to the rootless Black City. Ning Cheng instantly made a decision. If he returned to the rootless Black City now, then no one would dare to speak even half a word against him. However, his strength was limited. Once there was a conflict of interest, sooner or later, someone would find trouble with him. As such, it would be better to wait until his strength reached a certain level before returning to the rootless Black City. What's more, Ning Cheng also wanted to do something else. Without strength, he simply could not do it. Ji Luofei could use spirit stones for cultivation. However, Ning Cheng chose to go into secluded cultivation using crystal stones. Spirit stones for him had a very limited role. Moreover, it would take a long time. After using spirit stones for cultivation for some time, Ning Cheng once again used the crystal stones for cultivation. The spiritual qi absorbed and transformed into spiritual qi, causing Ning Cheng's entire body to feel comfortable. This kind of cultivation speed was exactly what he wanted. In just 1 month, Ning Cheng advanced from the 8th level of Sea Opening Realm to the 9th level of Sea Opening Realm. 3 months later, Ning Cheng's cultivation reached the full circle of the 9th level of Sea Opening Realm. The current atmosphere within the rootless Black City was very strange. More than 4 months ago, the junior city master, along with a team of more than 100 people, along with a plundering life realm cultivator, went out in search of the Black Essence Stone mine. However, there was no news of them since. More than 3 months ago, the rootless Black City's city master Sukai suddenly came out of seclusion in anger, before rushing out of the rootless Black City. From his words, many people judged that junior city master Su Liangji had died. Moreover, the one who killed Su Liangji was the arrogant newcomer Ning Cheng, the one who destroyed the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. Now that 4 months had passed, there was no movement from the city master's mansion. Not to mention that Ning Cheng and the junior city master had not returned. Even after city master Sukai went out, there was no news of him. Ning Cheng's encirclement was still in place. Even Ning Cheng's immortal cave was still in the same place. No one had touched it. Even if there were all kinds of speculations at this time, no one would say anything. Boom boom. Thunder roared, while Ning Cheng stood empty-handed in the void, letting the countless lightning arcs and thunder waterfall descend. Not only did he not bring out the everlasting Blue Thunder City, but he also did not bring out the Nirvana Spear and the 36 cosmic True Devil Axes. Almost 60% of the violent lightning arcs ended up absorbed by him, while the rest of the lightning arcs, apart from tempering his corporeal body, did not cause even the slightest bit of harm to him. Ning Cheng knew the reason for this. When he and Sukai fought under the Thunder Tribulation, the Thunder Tribulation was much more powerful compared to this one. He even managed to survive such a powerful Thunder Tribulation. At this time, with his cultivation improving, this Thunder Tribulation was not even worth mentioning. Kaka. His bones gave off a burst of brittle sounds, as if he had reached a critical point before advancing. Ning Cheng was pleasantly surprised. He originally wanted to cross the Thunder Tribulation to advance to the Crucible Transformation Realm. He did not expect that before advancing to the Crucible Transformation Realm, His body-forging realm would have a breakthrough first. As long as this thunder tribulation was a bit more powerful, he would directly advance to the rank 6 imperial body. After understanding that this thunder tribulation was not powerful enough, Ningcheng did not hesitate to bring out the Nirvana spear and rush towards the thunder tribulation. A powerful spear intent shot out towards the descending thunder tribulation arcs. Boom. Ka. The thunder tribulation really became enraged once again. The raging thunder waterfall mixed with some thunderballs descended, and the crazy blue color instantly submerged Ningcheng. Ji Luofei, who was watching the thunder tribulation from a distance, felt even more frightened. She retreated step by step. She knew that she could not help Ningcheng at this moment. Although she felt anxious, it was useless. Poof poof. Ningcheng's armor finally shattered under the thunder tribulation arcs. The dense lightning arcs bombarded Ningcheng's body, causing Ningcheng's flesh and blood to splatter in all directions. Even his bones started to crack. However, the next moment, these cracked bones quickly reformed, allowing him to sublimate and condense at an even faster speed. A powerful feeling welled up in his heart, causing Ningcheng to suppress the ecstasy in his heart. He knew that he had already advanced to the rank 6 imperial body. Thunder tribulation was a life-threatening thing for others, but he was completely different from others. Let this thunder tribulation become even more violent. Ningcheng prayed in his heart, while simultaneously blasting out with the Nirvana spear. The true essence within his meridians simultaneously erupted, as if wanting to open the barrier between his cultivation. Bang! It was as if the cloth covering his mouth and nose had suddenly been torn apart, causing an incomparably sober aura to pour in. The Nirvana spear in Ningcheng's hand suddenly transformed into a spear trace. These spear traces directly split the thunder tribulation arcs in front of him into two halves. Only after the spear traces submerged into the void did the thunder tribulation arcs close up. However, that incomparably powerful thunder tribulation immediately weakened. As this wave of thunder tribulation passed, the following thunder tribulation arcs could no longer cause even the slightest bit of harm to Ningcheng. Ningcheng stood in the void, allowing the lightning arcs to fall on his body without moving an inch. After many years of hard struggle, he finally advanced to the crucible transformation realm, becoming a genuine crucible transformation cultivator. After he finished the matters regarding the rootless Black City and the receiving Heaven's Stone, he could then head out into the starry skies of the universe to find his own path. Chapter 469. I've run out of black coins. I don't have 10,000 black coins right now. Can you make an exception and let us stay in the rootless Black City for a while? After we earn some black coins, can we pay you back? A male cultivator with an awkward expression stood at the city gate and pleaded with the two cultivators handling the identity jade cards. Behind this male cultivator, there was a female cultivator. The female cultivator pursed her lips and did not speak. Don't you see the people standing on the side? Is your ass whiter than the others? The male cultivator handling the identity jade cards at the city gate spoke up in a cold voice. If you don't have any black coins, then just stand to the side and let others go in first. After everyone on this side goes in, you can go to the void to dig for black essence stones. After you earn a certain amount of black coins, you can come back and talk. The male cultivator's expression changed slightly. This friend, we just arrived at the rootless Black City and have no experience at all. If we go to the void to dig for ores at this time, wouldn't we just be courting death? What does it have to do with me if you want to die or not? The cultivator guarding the city gate spoke in an even more disdainful tone. The male cultivator was just about to continue speaking when he suddenly called out in surprise, "Sect Master Ning." Ningcheng saw the long queue of cultivators entering the rootless Black City, and realized that these people should be the same as him, who had just arrived from Heaven's Way. Immediately, he heard someone calling out to him. It was a cultivator he did not know, Crucible Transformation 2nd level. Behind this Crucible Transformation 2nd level cultivator stood a female cultivator, whom he knew. This female cultivator was called Bumei. When he went to the Great Liangtru country and the Northern Shangtru country to carry out the sect's mission, it was this female cultivator, along with Star Gathering Mansion's Xian Hai. Sect Master Ning. Bumei, on seeing Ningqing, quickly came forward and greeted him with a bow. It was completely different from the first time the two met. When Ningqing and Bumei met for the first time, this woman did not even glance at him. Ningqing and the Severing Emotions Dao sect had some enmity. However, the main target of this enmity was Su Anjin. As for this Bumei from the Severing Emotions Dao sect, he truly did not care about it. Lord Ning. The two crucible transformation cultivators guarding the entrance of the rootless Black City quickly came forward to greet Ningqing. As for who Ningqing was, they knew it better than anyone else. This person destroyed the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce and killed Junior City Master Su Liangji. The rootless Black City's City Master Su Kai had chased after him to kill him. However, Ningqing did not expect that Su Kai would not return, while he took the initiative to come back. Although they did not dare to imagine such a result, but with the facts in front of them, they did not dare to offend this Ningqing. You are. Ningqing looked at the Crucible Transformation second-level male cultivator, who addressed him as Sect Master Ning, in a puzzled manner. As for the two Crucible Transformation guards at the entrance to the city, he simply ignored them. Sect Master Ning, I am Xu Xing from the Star Gathering Mansion. Because of Sect Master Ning's Heaven's Way's array formation, my Dao companion Bumei and I also came to Heaven's Way together. The male cultivator quickly spoke up with a respectful tone. Ningqing's reputation spread far and wide in the Tian continent. Not a single academy dared to show even half a shred of neglect towards him. He even destroyed the Red Star Sword faction. Because of his return, the Yin-Yang Dao sect, which had enmity with the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, had to take the initiative to apologize to them. Moreover, Ningqing never expected that Sect Master Ning would turn out to be this powerful after arriving at the rootless Black City. Didn't you see the two Crucible Transformation guards at the entrance of the city gate? Moreover, they were acting very respectful towards Sect Master Ning. The more Xu Xing thought about it, the more respectful he became. He even felt a little worried that Ningqing would hold Bumei accountable. After all, Bumei came from the Severing Emotions Dao sect. Ningqing and the Severing Emotions Dao sect's grievances, who in the Tian continent did not know about it. Ningqing glanced at Bumei, feeling even more puzzled in his heart. A person from the Severing Emotions Dao sect as a Dao companion. Were these two people the same as Chao He and Ban Miaolei? Or did this Bumei want to use Xu Xing to sever her emotions? However, Ningqing did not ask about this matter. Instead he spoke up. I know Xian Hai from the Star Gathering Mansion, is he alright? Junior apprentice brother Xian is currently in seclusion. When I came to Heaven's Way, he had not yet come out. Xu Xing quickly replied. Why don't you go in? Ningqing asked despite knowing the answer. Xu Xing quickly replied. Because the cost of using the receiving heaven stone is too high, and I do not have enough spirit stones on me. As such, there is no way to enter the rootless Black City. In that case, you can come in with me. Ningqing casually spoke, before looking at the two guards at the city gate. These two will come in with me. You can help them apply for an identity jade card. But the two Crucible Transformation guards hesitated. Applying for an identity jade card required 10,000 black coins. Ningqing did not say anything about the black coins, so what could they do? This was the source of black coins for the 12 forces. Although Ningqing destroyed one of them, there were still 11 of them here. Ningqing gave a sneer and spoke. If anyone has any questions, then let them come to the City Master's mansion to find me. I will be living in the City Master's mansion from now on. Saying that, Ningqing was simply disinclined to pay any attention to the two guards, and spoke to Xu Xing. Come in with me. Yes, yes. It was not Xu Xing who answered, but the two Crucible Transformation guards who stopped Xu Xing. The meaning behind Ningqing's words was very obvious. That is, he had already killed the original city master of the rootless Black City, Su Kai. With this kind of strength, if he dared to speak any nonsense, the opposite party would immediately kill him. For him, the most important thing right now was to quickly report back about this matter. Ningqing speaking such arrogant words in public was obviously premeditated. The purpose of his return was to kill off the forces of the rootless Black City. Of course, he did not mean to kill off all these forces. It would simply be meaningless. What he wanted to eliminate was the receiving heaven stone's shameless and disgusting rules of black coins, as well as the 1 million spirit stones required to obtain an identity jade card to enter the city gate. As for those cultivators who relied on their identity and strength to do whatever they wanted in the receiving heaven stone and the rootless black city, he decided to eliminate them all. He had already arranged an array formation around the heaven's way leading to the receiving heaven stone. In the future, as long as one's cultivation reached a certain level in the Tian continent, one would be able to enter the receiving heaven stone through the heaven's way and arrive at the rootless black city. He had too many acquaintances and friends in the Tian continent. Once he left the rootless black city in the future, wouldn't the people around him end up dead? Because of this, Ning Cheng made up his mind to thoroughly rectify the rootless black city and the receiving heaven stone. Sect Master Ning, do you live in the city master's mansion? Xu Xing carefully asked. He had not heard anything about Ning Cheng since he came here. However, he knew that the city master's mansion was the most powerful force in the rootless black city. Did Sect Master Ning work in the city master's mansion? That's right, but it's not what you think. It's because I killed the original city master, which is why I'm living in the city master's mansion. Ning Cheng knew what Xu Xing was thinking and spoke out directly. Xu Xing's mouth opened wide. He could not even utter a single "ah." He was just too shocked. How long had it been since Ning Cheng arrived, yet he managed to kill the city master of the rootless black city? Just how much strength did he have? No wonder the crucible transformation cultivators guarding the city gate did not dare to utter even half a word of nonsense. Xu Xing, I want to control the rootless black city in the future. Are you willing to help me? Ning Cheng knew that to control the entire rootless black city, he had to pull out his own strength. Sect Master Ning, I'm willing. I'll follow Sect Master Ning from now on. No, I'll follow City Master Ning from now on. Since Xu Xing could cultivate to the crucible transformation second level, he obviously was not an idiot. As soon as Ning Cheng spoke those words, he immediately understood what it meant. Ning Cheng had not yet arrived at the entrance of the rootless black city's city master's mansion. However, the news of his return, as well as the news that he would soon move into the city master's mansion, had already spread throughout the entire rootless black city. The rootless black city's entrance leading to the city master's mansion in the central city district had already become packed with people. Many of the cultivators in the rootless black city had already squeezed into this street. The rootless black city might have to change its city master. There was not a single person who did not care about this matter. Boom. An explosive sound erupted. Ning Cheng arrived above the rootless black city's city master's mansion. With just a single spear strike, he managed to break through the defensive array of the rootless black city's city master's mansion. The cultivators from the city master's mansion had long since learned of the news and immediately fled. None of the cultivators were willing to stay behind and fight against Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng also did not kill all the cultivators who managed to escape from the city master's mansion. These cultivators were the same as him, people who came from various planar interfaces. Since he killed the city master of the city master's mansion, who would dare to come out and resist? In fact, there were very few cultivators remaining in the city master's mansion. Since the junior city master was killed, and city master Su Kai had not returned for several months, any cultivator with a little bit of intelligence would have already guessed that something must have happened to the city master. These cultivators had either left the city master's mansion or deliberately went out to look for tasks. Now that Ning Cheng had returned, the few remaining cultivators in the city master's mansion immediately fled. At the same time, in another luxurious building within the rootless black city, dozens of powerful cultivators were holding an emergency meeting. This building was the base of the rootless black city's Extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet. The Extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet was ranked second among the 12 major forces of the rootless black city, second only to the city master's mansion. Now that Ning Cheng had killed the rootless black city's city master Su Kai, Ning Cheng had forcibly occupied the city master's mansion. Moreover, he had also broken the rules of entering the rootless black city for the first time, requiring one to purchase an identity jade card. These actions had touched on everyone's interests and aroused public anger. Even if the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce was destroyed, Even if the city master of the city master's mansion was killed, none of them would care about it. Now that Ning Cheng had obtained the black coins in their pockets, no one was willing to compromise over such a matter. I had already said that we should join forces to kill this person. Since this person could advance to the crucible transformation realm so quickly, it definitely means that he obtained some good things from that old ghost Su Kai. The one who spoke was a white-haired old man. He was the Deputy Association head of the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce, Mao Xiaoshuan. Everyone understood the meaning behind his words. It doesn't make any sense to talk about it now. Since Ning Cheng dared to enter the city master's mansion, then he would definitely stretch his hands over our heads. My thoughts are similar to Brother Xiaoshuan's. That is, we should take advantage of the fact that he has not established himself yet. Otherwise, with his cultivation speed. This time, it was a middle-aged man with a long beard. Everyone also understood his meaning. Although this long-bearded man looked gentle, no one dared to underestimate him even half a point. He was the Gale Void Alliance's Bu Yuan Mao, a plundering life realm cultivator. Chapter 470. Ning Cheng had arranged a simple defensive array outside the rootless Black City's city master's mansion, while Xu Xing and Bu Mei stayed outside to guard the array formation. Ning Cheng stood in front of a cell sealed by an array formation, and saw Shen Zimo for the second time. When Shen Zimo saw Ning Cheng appear, he felt surprised in his heart. He could not understand how Ning Cheng could appear here. Ning Cheng nodded to Shen Zimo and kicked open the array formation of the cell. At the same time, he raised his hand and patted Shen Zimo's shoulder. In just a dozen breaths of time, Ning Cheng grabbed the soul restriction placed on Shen Zimo's body and used a fireball to burn the restriction into nothingness. How can you be here? With the soul restriction removed by Ning Cheng, Shen Zimo did not feel surprised. Instead, he looked at Ning Cheng in shock and asked. Ning Cheng showed a faint smile. Of course I killed Su Kai and Su Liangji. That's why I can appear here. Since you had a soul restriction on you, I did not ask you some questions. Now you can tell me, since you are from the city master's mansion, why did Su Liangji place a soul restriction on you? You killed Su Kai? Shen Zimo repeated the words in shock, before feeling pleasantly surprised. He did not expect that Ning Cheng could easily kill Su Kai, something that he could not accomplish even after lurking for decades. That's right. Tell me about it. Ning Cheng nodded. Shen Zimo took a few deep breaths, calming down his excitement before slowly speaking. 40 years ago, when my master came to the rootless Black City, Su Kai killed him. In order to avenge my master, I hid around Su Liangji after coming to the rootless Black City. I did not expect him to know about this matter, and use me to temper his mind. After listening to Shen Zimo's words, Ning Cheng sneered and spoke. Placing a soul restriction on you and keeping you by your side. You call this tempering? Shen Zimo, I want to do something in the rootless Black City. Are you willing to help me? Brother Ning, you saved my life, and you also helped to avenge my master's death. From today onwards, this Shen Zimo's life belongs to Brother Ning. Shen Zimo already had the thought of dying. However, Ning Cheng not only helped him take revenge, but also saved his life. Almost without thinking about it, Shen Zimo immediately agreed to Ning Cheng's words. Good, you have been in the rootless Black City for quite some time now. Now I want to pull up the first cultivator army in the rootless Black City. I still have tens of millions of black coins here. You can use them to help me form a cultivator army. As for the rest of the things inside the ring, I will give them to you. How about it? Ning Cheng took out a ring and handed it to Shen Zimo before asking. Yes. Shen Zimo replied in a simple and direct manner. Over the past few decades in the rootless Black City, today was the happiest day he had ever been in. Ning Cheng also appreciated Shen Zimo's attitude. After handing over the ring to Shen Zimo, he once again spoke up. I killed 2 forces within the rootless Black City, as well as the 10 major forces. While recruiting the cultivator army, collect some information on the evil deeds of these forces. This time, Shen Zimo's answer was even more straightforward. There was no greater sorrow or joy in life than this. The rootless Black City has already begun to form a cultivator army. Moreover, after entering the rootless Black City's cultivator army, You will not need to pay any black coins. Not only that, but he would also receive a certain amount of black coins as remuneration every year. As for the place to live, you don't need to worry about it. I heard that Ningcheng wants to develop the West City district and establish a military camp. The news of Ningcheng forming a cultivator army in the rootless Black City quickly spread throughout the rootless Black City. Whether it was the rootless Black City's trade union or the rootless Black City's major rest stops, everyone was talking about this matter. For a time, countless cultivators headed to the rootless Black City's city master mansion to register. Within the rootless Black City, there were many cultivators who could not afford to pay black coins. They could not even afford to live in the West City district. This kind of news for these impoverished cultivators was simply the best gospel. Humph, that Ningcheng is just an early-stage crucible transformation cultivator. Even if he is slightly stronger, what qualifications does he have to claim to be the city master of the rootless Black City? He even dares to say that as long as one joins the rootless Black City's cultivator army, one would not need to pay any black coins. Does he really think that he is the most powerful person in the rootless Black City? Knowing that Ningcheng had just returned to the rootless Black City and had already begun to form a cultivator army, the 10 forces who were still in the meeting finally could not sit still. They had not even finished discussing the rules. Yet this person had already started to form a cultivator army. I suggest that we gather all of our people and directly kill this person. Then we can elect a person to be the city master. A man with wild hair spoke up. He was from the Void Sect. The Void Sect was the only sect in the rootless Black City. Moreover, most of the disciples of this sect came from the same place. This person can kill Sukai and even destroy the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. How can you fight against him? Besides, can all of us work together? This person is an array formation grandmaster. He has already arranged a powerful array formation in the city master's mansion. Moreover, he has also recruited many cultivators. Why don't we send someone to invite Ningcheng to come here? At worst, we can give him a part of the benefits from the original city master's mansion. After hearing that Ningcheng had formed a cultivator army in the rootless Black City, the people in the meeting immediately began to talk about it. Some uneasiness instantly spread out. Everyone, please listen to me. A deep voice sounded out. Hearing this voice, everyone immediately stopped talking. That was because the one who spoke was the second strongest person in the rootless Black City, Jian Xianming. Jian Xianming was the captain of the extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet, with a cultivation at the 7th level of Plundering Life Realm. In the rootless Black City, there were only 2 cultivators in the late stages of the Plundering Life Realm. One was the city master of the rootless Black City, Su Kai, and the other was Jian Xianming. Ningcheng can kill Puleng and Si Pingxian. Obviously, he is not an ordinary person. As for the whereabouts of city master Su Kai, we are still not clear about it. Since this person dared to enter the city master's mansion, then presumably, Su Kai must have met with some misfortune. My original idea was to discuss with him and hand over the benefits from the original city master's mansion to him. Since he has already started to form a cultivator army, then there is nothing to discuss. As Jian Xianming spoke until here, his gaze swept over the rest of the cultivators. He believed that everyone here could understand what he was saying. In the rootless Black City, in order to balance the power between the major forces, the establishment of a cultivator army was not allowed. Even the original city master, Su Kai, had tacitly agreed to this. Now that Ningcheng had started to form a cultivator army, once Ningcheng's cultivator army was fully formed, who could be his opponent? My auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce will listen to Brother Jian. I think that Brother Jian's words make sense. Mao Xiaoshuan was the first to stand up and speak up. 2 more people also stood up to echo his words. Everyone here understood the meaning behind Jian Xuanming's words. That is, since Ningcheng had already formed a cultivator army, then they had to kill Ningcheng before his cultivator army was fully formed. However, not everyone was willing to stand up and echo Jian Xuanming's words. Seeing that there were still 4 representatives who did not stand up to speak, Jian Xianming frowned. Just when Jian Xianming wanted to continue to threaten them, he heard a clear voice resound throughout the hall. Friends, today is a good day. I, Ning Chung, would like to invite all of you to a banquet in the rootless Black City's City Master's mansion. If you are willing to become friends with this Ning Chung, then please do me the honor. This voice suddenly sounded out. Not only did Jian Xuanming's complexion change, but all the cultivators in the hall also stood up. They were holding a meeting in this place, which was protected by a series of array formations. Now that someone had spoken and directly teleported in, it meant that these array formations were nothing in the eyes of this person. I have to go back and discuss it with you. The first to stand up was a short-haired man with a bronze face. Traces of vicissitudes of life could be clearly seen on his face. Mao Xiaoshuan of the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce, on hearing these words, immediately sank. Chao Jimeng, you are the association master of the Rogue Cultivator Alliance. Do you really need to go back and discuss this kind of thing? The man with the bronze face gave a sneer. Mao Xiaoshuan, how the matters of my Rogue Cultivator Alliance are discussed? Does it have anything to do with your auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce? Aren't you a bit too much? If you want to show off your power and prestige, then go to your auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce. Don't talk nonsense in front of me. Saying that, the man cupped his fists towards Jian Xuanming before turning around and walking away without saying anything. Jian Xuanming's complexion also turned ugly to look at. Just when he was thinking about whether or not to force Chao Jimeng to stay, another female cultivator stood up and spoke. My Heaven City Chamber of Commerce also needs to go back and discuss it. Black City Pill Association's Ji Xing cannot handle this matter. We have to go back to the Pill Association and ask. In just a short time, 4 of the representatives of the 10 forces had already left. Seeing that someone still wanted to stand up, Jian Xianming simply spoke up. In that case, let's go to the City Master's mansion to see the new City Master. My rootless Black City has such a capable person. If I, Jian Xianming, do not know about it, then wouldn't it be rude of me? Chapter 471. City Master Ning, the few of us only came to seek refuge with you now. A cultivator with an embarrassed face stood in front of Ning Chung. He felt a little embarrassed to speak the rest of his words. This cultivator was called Lan Wenbin, the one who had arrived at the Receiving Heaven Stone with Ning Chung. Back at the Receiving Heaven Stone, he had been optimistic about Ning Chung. However, Ning Chung unexpectedly raised the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce's rest stop, which made him feel a little disappointed in Ning Chung. He thought that Ning Chung had acted irrationally. In order not to get involved with Ning Chung too much, he took the other 3 people with him, and did not continue to live with Ning Chung. Instead, they returned to the rootless Black City. What he did not expect was that Ning Chung would come out unscathed after destroying the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce's rest stop. Not only that, but after returning, he continued to raise the entire Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. When Ning Chung returned to the rootless Black City and occupied the City Master's mansion, he realized that he had misread the situation. Ning Chung dared to do such a thing because he had the ability. Now that Ning Chung needed manpower, he did not hesitate to take the other 3 people to seek refuge with Ning Chung. Ning Chung understood the other party's intentions and spoke up with a smile. Many thanks for Brother Lan's help. Shen Zimo is helping me recruit a cultivator army. Since Brother Lan is here, I would like to ask Brother Lan to help out. Wu Marui can stay here with me. Maybe some people will come to the City Master's mansion to find trouble with me. Okay. Lan Wenbin did not speak any nonsense this time, and quickly left with Mao Liangpeng and Jiying. Wu Marui was a tall and strong man. Among Lan Wenbin's group of 4, Ning Chung had the best impression of him. Congratulations to Brother Ning for returning to the rootless Black City. A crisp female voice arrived. Ning Chung had already seen a man and a woman walking over with a smile on their faces. Ning Chung recognized the middle-aged man. He was the steward of the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce, Mu Tsuanjian. When Ning Chung first arrived at the Receiving Heaven Stone, he stayed in the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce's rest stop. So it's Brother Mu. I thought you were still at the Receiving Heaven Stone. I didn't expect Brother Mu to return to the rootless Black City. Please come in. Ning Chung greeted with cupped fists with a smile. When Mu Tsuanjian heard Ning Cheng's words, he became even more delighted. I really did not misjudge Brother Ning. You are a dragon among men, a phoenix among men. Let me introduce you. This is the president of my Heaven City Chamber of Commerce, Gon Anren. Greetings, association head Gon. Ningcheng did not expect that the association head of the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce would be a female cultivator. Moreover, her cultivation was not low at all. Looking at her appearance, she was at least at the second level of plundering life realm. Gon Anren giggled. When I heard City Master Ning's invitation, I immediately came over. In the future, I will have to rely on City Master Ning to take care of me. Gon Anren spoke while looking at Ningcheng's face. She found that after she called out City Master Ning, Ningcheng's face did not change at all. She felt sure that Ningcheng had truly killed the original City Master of the rootless Black City, Su Kai. It seemed like it was a wise decision for him to come here. This City Lord Ning acted decisively. After killing Su Kai, the first thing he did was to form a cultivator army. In a place like the rootless Black City, once the cultivator army was established, even if all the other forces joined forces, it would still be far from enough. As for the others following behind the City Lord Mansion to form a cultivator army, Gon Anren believed that it was absolutely impossible. Ningcheng, as the new city master, had already formed his own cultivator army. As such, he would never allow a second cultivator army to appear in the rootless Black City. If a second cultivator army appeared in the rootless Black City, then Ningcheng would not be able to stand in the city master's mansion in peace. Because Gon Anren was sure of this, she did not hesitate to refuse to continue talking with the other forces, and took the initiative to come to Ningcheng's side. Please come in, please come in. Ningcheng naturally understood the meaning behind Gon Anren's words. That is to say, her Heaven City Chamber of Commerce had abandoned the alliance with the other forces, and had immediately come to Ningcheng's side. Rogue Cultivator Alliance's Chao Jiming has come to pay a visit to City Master Ning. Black City's Array Formation Alliance's Wuxia has come to pay a visit to City Master Ning. From the time Ningcheng broke the extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet's soundproof array formation, to the time when the representatives of the other forces of the rootless Black City gathered in the City Master's mansion, only an hour had passed. Ningcheng invited all of you to the City Master's mansion, but it's truly frightening. I would also like to thank all of you for accepting my invitation. When Ningcheng made the invitation, he did not think that these people would come. His original intention was to divide the remaining 10 major forces of the rootless Black City, and if possible, to rope in 2 or 3 other forces. But contrary to his expectations, the 10 major forces of the rootless Black City did not have any cohesion, and just a simple sentence from him was enough to divide them. The Heaven City Chamber of Commerce, the Rogue Cultivator Alliance, and the Black City Array Formation Alliance all made it clear that they wanted to stand on Ningcheng's side. As Ningcheng spoke, the dozen or so cultivators sitting in the assembly hall of the City Master's mansion did not say anything. Some of them even felt a little strange. After all, they were the ones who had gathered here before. The only difference was that this gathering was just a change of location, with the addition of Ningcheng. Just when Ningcheng wanted to continue speaking, Mao Xiaoshuan of the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce suddenly spoke up. Dao Friend Ning, the rootless Black City's City Master's mansion originally belonged to Su Kai, and this place is also Su Kai's place. But why did Dao Friend Ning suddenly appear here? I even heard someone calling out to City Master Ning from the outside, but how come we didn't know about it? It stands to reason that the rootless Black City has chosen a new city master, so we are also qualified to know about it. Seeing Ningcheng staring at Mao Xiaoshuan, Gon Anren smiled and spoke. City Master Ning, this is the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce's Deputy Union Head Mao Xiaoshuan. Oh, I've heard of him. This Chamber of Commerce had a scum named Cecile, who I killed. Ningcheng responded with a faint voice. Mao Xiaoshuan raised his eyebrows. Dao Friend Ning, as for why Cecile was killed, it is because my auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce's Union Head is still in seclusion. As such, I am not qualified to investigate it. Since this is a meeting to discuss the new city master, I hope that Dao Friend Ning can answer my questions directly. This is not just my problem alone, but also the problem of the rest of the people in the rootless Black City. Ningcheng stared at Mao Xiaoshuan with disdain. Union Head Mao, you cannot represent others. You can only represent your auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce at most. As for why you called me City Master Ning, I really don't know about it. However, you reminded me that from now on, I am the City Master of the rootless Black City. Oh, you want to ask about Su Kai? I killed him. If you want to be the City Master, it's very simple. Just come and kill me. Humph. Mao Xiuxuan suddenly stood up. Ning Cheng, did you use a trick to kill City Master Su? And think that you are the most powerful person in the rootless Black City? I'm sorry, but I do not agree with your position as the City Master. Not only do I not agree, even the rest of the people will not agree to it. If you want to challenge me, Mao Xiuxuan, then let me tell you, I do not fear a trivial crucible transformation first-level cultivator like you. Ning Cheng also stood up, glanced at the rest of the people and asked, who else does not agree with me becoming the City Master? Please also stand up. A powerful murderous intent swept out from Ning Cheng's eyes, causing even Jian Xuanming's heart to sink. This kind of murderous intent was something that even he could not release. Ning Cheng's strength was more than enough to kill a late-stage plundering life realm cultivator without even using any tricks. Ning Cheng's gaze then fell on Jian Xianming. Jian Xianming had the highest cultivation here. Jian Xianming, on seeing Ning Cheng's gaze fall on him, unexpectedly felt a chill run down his spine for no reason. He immediately coughed, dispelling some of the icy killing intent, and spoke. What Association Master Mao said is not wrong. My rootless Black City's City Master has always been elected. Now that the main forces of my rootless Black City are gathered here, why don't we all choose a new City Master? Ning Cheng suddenly sat down and spoke with a genial tone. What Captain Jian said is right, we should make it more democratic. In that case, let's start voting. It was as if the person who exuded a powerful killing intent was not him at all. Gon Anren immediately spoke up. I, on behalf of the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce, will cast my vote for Ning Cheng. Chao Jiming then spoke up. I, on behalf of the Rogue Cultivator Alliance, will also cast my vote for Ning Cheng. Mao Xiuxuan did not hesitate to cast his vote for Jian Xianming, followed by the Void Sect, Gale Void Alliance, Black City Artifact Crafting Alliance, and the other forces also cast their votes for Jian Xianming. Ning Cheng obtained 4 votes, respectively from the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce, Rogue Cultivator Alliance, Black City Pill Union, and Black City Array Formation Alliance. The Void Adventure Squad abstained, while Jian Xianming of the Extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet also obtained 4 votes. Ning Cheng, it looks like you can't be the City Master for now. Mao Xiuxuan felt angry at the 4 major forces who voted for Ning Cheng. At the same time, he was also thinking about how to deal with Ning Cheng. He would then unite with Jian Xianming to consolidate the entire rootless Black City's forces. Previously, with Su Kai around, he did not dare to do such a thing. However, facing Ning Cheng, he did not feel any fear. He had seen Ning Cheng's battle recordings, but compared to Su Kai, the difference was just too great. Ning Cheng had definitely used a trick to kill Su Kai. Ning Cheng looked at Jian Xianming with a smile and asked, Brother Jian, I don't know who you are voting for? Jian Xianming spoke up with a calm tone. Since you and I are competing for the position of the City Master, then the 2 of us naturally would not vote. That's for the best. Ning Cheng clapped his hands and spoke. Since everyone has elected me to be the City Master of the rootless Black City, then I will reluctantly do it. Who did you say elected you to be the City Master of the rootless Black City? The vote just now clearly showed 4 votes for each side, while you, Ning Cheng, did not even exceed by a single vote. What makes you the City Master? Mao Xiuxuan once again stood up and shouted. Ning Cheng stared at Mao Xiuxuan coldly, before calmly speaking up. Since I want to compete for the position of the City Master, then I will have to show a bit of sincerity. Shen Zimo. This subordinate is here. Shen Zimo, just like a ghost, suddenly appeared in the hall. Report the results of your investigation. Ning Cheng calmly spoke up. Yes. Shen Zimo responded, before speaking up in a clear voice. In the last 50 years, the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce had robbed 78 female cultivators from Heaven's Way. They had also killed 191 new cultivators who could not afford to pay the black coins totaling 231 people. They had also robbed 297 new cultivators of their properties and killed 297 people. All of these have conclusive evidence. Moreover, it is only a small part of the crimes. The entire hall turned silent. No one doubted Shen Zimo's words. That is because every force had done such things before. As such, it was not a big deal. How many people has my city master's mansion recruited for the cultivator army? Ningqing asked again. A total of 1,341 people. All with crucible transformation cultivation. Very good. The new cultivator army needs to undergo a blood test. Immediately take some people to flatten all the stations, rest stops, shopping malls of the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce. For this kind of trash Chamber of Commerce, there is no need to leave anything behind. Yes. Chapter 472. How dare you? Mao Xiaoshuan said angrily. Ningqing raised his hand, causing the Nirvana spear to appear in his hands. You, as the Deputy Association head of the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce, obviously have a greater responsibility. Since the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce is already gone, you should also stay here. While speaking, a powerful killing force swept out from Ningcheng's body. The cultivators sitting around Ningcheng immediately stepped aside. Ningcheng's terrifying killing intent fused with his Nirvana spear, causing people to feel uncomfortable all over. This was not a question of whether he dared or not. Ningqing even wanted to kill him, Mao Xiaoshuan, so why would he not dare? Not to mention now, even if it was Su Kai from the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce and the City Master's Mansion, Ningqing would still kill him without hesitation. Mao Xiaoshuan said that Ningqing dared, but in the eyes of others, it was simply bullshit. Stop. Jian Xianming slammed the table and stood up. Ningqing was unexpectedly so arrogant, daring to start a fight in a place where everyone was having a meeting to discuss a problem. The Nirvana spear in Ningcheng's hand vibrated with a buzzing sound, while bursts of killing intent spread out along with the vibrating ripples. Mao Xiaoshuan felt a chill down his spine as he looked at it. Jian Xianming, if you also want to make a move, then I will take you on. Not to mention killing Su Kai with my cultivation at the 7th level of Sea Opening Realm, now that I have the cultivation of Crucible Transformation Realm, and am still in my own territory, if I still felt afraid of you, a cultivator at the 7th level of Plundering Life Realm, then I might as well go back and buy tofu. Ningqing stared at Jian Xianming. His killing intent not only wrapped around Mao Xiaoshuan, but also swept towards Jian Xianming. This place was now his territory, and he had arranged the trap and kill arrays all around him. If he was still afraid of a few Plundering Life Realm cultivators in such a situation, then he might as well go back and buy a piece of tofu. Ningqing, whether you are the city master or not, we are all here to discuss some issues. How can you fight in this place? Do you have any sense of morality? Jian Xianming could feel a powerful killing intent permeating the surroundings, causing his heart to sink. He no longer had any thoughts of going head-on against Ningqing. Ningqing spoke up in a calm voice. As the city master of the rootless Black City, I naturally have to consider the countless cultivators of the rootless Black City. The auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce is a chamber of commerce that kills the innocent and bullies the newcomers. If I do not put an end to them, then I would not have the face to compete for the position of the city master. If you are not willing to help the wicked, then please stand at the right corner. Otherwise you will be opposing me, Ning. These incomparably strong words made Jian Xianming tremble with anger. He could see that there were entrapment arrays everywhere. Although he could not wait to swallow Ningqing immediately, he still did not dare to move. Ningcheng's words a moment ago were obviously ridiculing him, saying that he should not have the face to compete for the position of the city master. Unfortunately, the current situation was completely in Ning City's favor. Not to mention the array formations arranged around Ningcheng. Even if it was the people here, once a fight broke out, half of them would definitely help Ningcheng. Thinking until here, Jian Xianming had to take a few steps back. He was sure that if he did not take a step back, then Ningcheng would definitely drag him into the killing array. A wise man does not fight when the odds are against him. He could not save Mao Xiaoshuan, and could only wait to avenge him. However, now that Ning Cheng had killed Mao Xiuxuan, would he have the ability to avenge him? Seeing Jian Xianming retreat, Ning Cheng felt a bit of pity in his heart. If the two people, Jian Xianming and Mao Xiuxuan, attacked at the same time, then he could use the trap and kill arrays here to kill the two of them. Now that Jian Xianming retreated, he could not forcibly kill him. If he wanted to control the rootless Black City, it would be impossible to rely solely on killing. He had to kill the chicken to warn the monkeys, using the most powerful means to kill Mao Xiuxuan, and then establish his prestige. As for letting Mao Xiuxuan go, Ning Cheng did not even think about it. He did not want to be like Xiang Yu, who would not kill Liu Bang even if he delivered himself to his hands. Jian Xianming was suppressed by Ning Cheng to the side, while the rest of the people did not speak. Mao Xiuxuan, on seeing Jian Xianming retreat, felt his heart sink to the bottom. Without Jian Xianming's help, how could he fight against a powerhouse like Ning Cheng? Moreover, this fellow had even killed Kai. Even if you are the city master, the things you collected, you must have evidence. Mao Xiuxuan spoke up with a stern voice. Everyone could hear that he was putting on a strong front, but at the same time, showing weakness in front of Ning Cheng. However, Ning Cheng did not care about this. His Nirvana spear swept up one spear trace after another, superimposed over each other. At this moment, the rest of the cultivators in the assembly hall could only see a vast expanse of whiteness. Apart from the powerful true essence fluctuations around them, they simply could not see the fight between Ning Cheng and Mao Xiuxuan. The cultivators standing in the hall were secretly shocked. They all knew what was going on. Before, they had only heard that Ning Cheng's attainments in array formations were formidable. However, now they saw it with their own eyes. This vast expanse of whiteness was definitely the result of Ning Cheng using an array formation to separate the scene of the fight. Thinking that they were sitting in the middle of Ning Cheng's killing array, all the people felt an inexplicable chill in their hearts. Half a day ago, they were still discussing how to kill Ning Cheng, and how to redistribute the benefits of the rootless Black City. However, half a day later, they could only stand in the middle of the other party's array formation, watching the other party's awe-inspiring display. Powerful true essence fluctuations swept through the surrounding space. At this moment, no one was willing to do anything that would make Ning Cheng unhappy. They all chose to stand quietly in the right corner, and wait quietly. Mao Xiuxuan knew that Ning Cheng would never let him go, so he no longer showed any signs of weakness. Stretching out his hands, he shot out one silk thread after another. These silk threads instantly formed a huge silk net in front of Ning Cheng. Bursts of fishy smell came out from the silk net. When Ning Cheng smelled this fishy smell, he almost vomited. Ning Cheng did not expect that Mao Xiuxuan, who looked like a transcendent being, turned out to be a demonic cultivator. Moreover, he even cultivated the poison spider silk. If it were an ordinary crucible transformation first-level cultivator, Mao Xiuxuan felt sure that he would have already killed the opposite party. Moreover, he would not have used the myriad poison spider silk. However, the opposite party was Ning Cheng, the newcomer Ning Cheng of the rootless Black City. The Ning Cheng who had killed the rootless Black City's premier person. At this time, he immediately used his finishing move, the myriad poison spider silk. His purpose was to entangle Ning Cheng for a moment, and then escape immediately. However, he still underestimated Ning Cheng's array formation, and also underestimated Ning Cheng's fake domain. Ning Cheng did not intend to use his fake domain against Mao Xiuxuan. For Mao Xiuxuan, he was just an early-stage crucible transformation cultivator. It was the same for him. Mao Xiuxuan was just a trivial plundering life first-level cultivator. After Mao Xiuxuan cast out his myriad poison spider silk, Ning Cheng immediately activated an entrapment array, while trying to control the surrounding space as much as possible. Even after advancing to the crucible transformation realm, he still had only a smattering of knowledge about domains, and did not know how to use them. However, at least he knew how to make his domain more powerful. Mao Xiuxuan felt his myriad poison spider silk turn sluggish, while his body also turned sluggish. No, this was a domain. After Mao Xiuxuan understood this, endless regret instantly filled his heart. He finally understood why Ning Cheng could kill Su Kai. Ning Cheng had unexpectedly comprehended a domain. Even Su Kai, He estimated that he was still far from comprehending a domain. No, he absolutely cannot fight against someone with a domain. Mao Xiaoshuan certainly did not know that Ningqing killing Su Kai had nothing to do with a domain. However, at this moment his mind was in chaos. He did not even care about the myriad poison spider silk that he had created. His body crazily twisted within Ningqing's fake domain, trying to get rid of the shackles of this domain. Unfortunately, his strength compared to Su Kai's was not just 1 or 2 levels. Even Ningqing felt somewhat speechless. When he saw the myriad poison spider silk, he had thought that Mao Xiaoshuan would have some powerful tricks up his sleeves. However, he did not expect that this was his most powerful move. Ningqing did not continue to talk with Mao Xiaoshuan. Instead, his nirvana spear thrusted towards the myriad poison spider silk. The powerful spear intent caused the myriad poison spider silk to crack open in an instant, causing Mao Xiaoshuan's mouth to issue a harsh grinding sound. Not waiting for him to explode his myriad poison spider silk web, Ningqing's long spear had already arrived in front of his glabella. He could only watch as the long spear approached him. However, he did not have the strength to avoid it. Because everything around him did not seem to belong to him, he could only wait for Ningqing to kill him. Mao Xiaoshuan gave out a sigh. His last thought was, why did he want to join hands with such a selfish person like Jian Xianming? At this moment, he completely forgot about the matter of him wanting to use the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. Bang! The dull sound of his head bursting apart was not loud. However, it felt like a heavy hammer had smashed into the hearts of everyone in the assembly hall. As the array formation's fog dissipated, everyone's eyes once again cleared up. Only then did they discover that Ningqing was still sitting in his seat, while Mao Xiaoshuan was pinned to the wall by a long spear. Pada pada. Below his head, drops of blood dripped down. In this silent assembly hall, the sound of blood dripping sounded like a clap of thunder. Chapter 473. Everyone, please take a seat. Ningqing sat on his seat and stretched out his hand with a smile. The rest of the cultivators also sat down one by one. However, the atmosphere was no longer as casual and fierce as when they first arrived. In front of everyone, Ningqing had killed Mao Xiaoshuan in less than a quarter of an incense stick worth of time, causing everyone to feel fearful of him. Killing Mao Xiaoshuan in such a short time, even Jian Xianming could not do it. In the city master election, I obtained 4 votes. Originally, Brother Jian had the same number of votes as me, and would have had the opportunity to compete again. I did not expect that the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce would suddenly encounter such an incident. Brother Jian, what do you think? Ningqing looked at Jian Xianming with a smile. Today he had already planned to kill a person to establish his prestige. In his opinion, it would be best to kill Jian Xianming. He did not expect that Mao Xiaoshuan would court death, while Jian Xianming would withdraw, causing Ningqing to feel some regret in his heart. Jian Xianming spoke up in a flat tone. Since Brother Ning obtained more votes than me, and is already living in the city master's mansion, then Brother Ning should be the city master of the rootless Black City. Yes, I also agree with Brother Ning taking over as the city master of the rootless Black City. A red-haired man spoke up without hesitation. He was Dan Wenhong of Black City's crafting division. A moment ago, he had supported Jian Xianming, but now he turned to Ningqing. It was as if it was a matter of course, without even the slightest bit of embarrassment. I also agree. Yes, I also agree. After killing Mao Xiaoshuan, the rest of the people no longer opposed Ningqing taking over as the city master of the rootless Black City. Even the previously neutral captain of the Void Adventure Squad, Du Jiaxu, also agreed with Ningqing taking over as the city master. In fact, for these people, whether Ningqing became the city master or not, they really did not care. What they cared about was what Ningqing would do after taking over as the city master. Ningqing stood up and cupped his fists before speaking up in a stern voice. Since everyone is so enthusiastic, then I will take on this important task. You might say that taking over as the city master is an easy and profitable task, but I don't think so. My rootless Black City has been rotting for a long time. Countless cultivators have gone through hardships to break through the Heaven's Way, not to mention the rootless Black City's spatial wind edges. When Ning Chung spoke up to hear, apart from Chao Jimeng of the rogue cultivators of the rootless Black, no one present showed any expression, except for Chao Ji of the rogue cultivators from the Rogue Alliance. Since none of you have any big opinions, then I will first announce a few new laws of the rootless Black City. Ning Chung did not expect that there would really be someone like him who wanted to re-establish order within the rootless Black City. From his point of view, how could a city with no restrictions be any better? In Chung Ning Ning he Black City, and he did bye the city, he did not show. Did he? Bye. One he and bye. He. Chung. And the time, he after he of the bye, the Rororo. Of the Chung of the Chung, he the rogue sect, he the rogue he the Chung bye of the Chung the rogue after. The rootless Black City had more than just a black name. Only the cultivators who lived here for many years knew how difficult it was to live here. As a rogue cultivator, Chao Jimeng could understand the difficulties of living here. Not to mention being exploited at any time, he could even be killed at any time. If not for helping some rogue cultivators, he Chao Jimeng would have already left for the starry skies of the universe. Unfortunately, he did not have the ability to reverse the situation. Moreover, those who had the ability to reverse the situation did not want to waste time on the Void Black City. Now that Ning Chung suddenly appeared, and wanted to reverse the darkness of the Black City, he naturally did not hesitate to stand up and support Ning Chung. I also support City Master Ning. The second to stand up was Gan Anren, followed by Wu Yingzhe of the Black City Array Formation Alliance. Wu Yingzhe was a Tier 7 Array Formation Grand Master. Only he knew how terrifying Ning Chung was. Ning Cheng's array formations were something that even he could not understand. Such a terrifying person, he absolutely did not want to be an enemy. From the moment Ning Chung issued the invitation, he had never wanted to go against Ning Chung. Alright, thank you all. Ning Chung cupped his fists before continuing. Now that I'm the city master of the rootless Black City, the first thing I want to do is to clean up the entire rootless Black City's order. Everyone should already know that I have formed a cultivator army. This cultivator army will be the only cultivator army within the rootless Black City. There will never be a second one. Everyone thought to themselves that after Ning Chung formed a cultivator army, he would never allow a second cultivator army to emerge. From now on, I will promulgate a set of laws within the rootless Black City and the receiving Heaven Stone. No matter who it is, as long as they violate the laws, they must be dealt with in accordance with the laws. First, from now on, all the rest stops on the receiving Heaven Stone will be removed, leaving only a rest stop and a place to exchange black coins. The price will be the same as the rootless Black City. Second, the rootless Black City will require 1,000 black coins to apply for an identity jade card. Moreover, this black coin will not be distributed. It will all be used for the expenses of the rootless Black City's cultivator army. Third, regardless of any cultivator or any chamber of commerce, anyone who dares to rob a female cultivator or rob a newcomer's belongings will be killed without mercy. Anyone who dares to kill in the rootless Black City, regardless of which city district, will be killed without mercy. The rootless Black City will also establish a dueling platform. Those who have a grudge against each other can challenge each other through the dueling platform. However, both parties must agree to it. Fourth, fifth, if there are any incomplete matters, the City Master's Mansion will issue a complete law manual. When Ning Chung briefly stated the contents of the law, the entire meeting hall turned silent. After a while, Chao Jimeng slapped the table and stood up before shouting, "Good." He had wanted to establish a set of laws and regulations within the rootless Black City for many years. Unfortunately, he was alone and weak, while his cultivation was only at the second level of plundering life realm. Within the rootless Black City, his strength was not even enough to fill the gaps between the teeth of others. I don't agree. If the receiving Heaven Stone does not allow the opening of a rest stop, nor does it allow the exchange of black coins, if the black coins used to apply for an identity jade card when entering the rootless Black City for the first time, as well as the daily payment of black coins by the cultivators in the rootless Black City, would all belong to the city master's mansion. How can our Chamber of Commerce survive? A gentle-looking long-bearded male cultivator immediately retorted. Who are you? Ningqing glanced at this long-bearded male cultivator. The long-bearded male cultivator spoke up in a tone that was neither overbearing nor servile. I am Bu Yuanmao from the Gale Void Alliance. I have 2 businesses in the Receiving Heaven's Stone, and a few good businesses in the Rootless Black City. Ningqing nodded. Then let me ask you, does your Gale Void Alliance's main source of black coins come from the newcomers? Saying that, Ningqing directly stared at Bu Yuanmao. If Bu Yuanmao dared to say that the Gale Void Alliance's black coins came from the newcomers, then he would not hesitate to destroy this alliance. A chamber of commerce that mainly earns black coins from the newcomers would definitely have bloody hands. Bu Yuanmao spoke up with disdain. My Gale Void Alliance's black coins mainly come from the Void ships, the Void adventures, and some transactions with the Chamber of Commerce. How could it be obtained from the newcomers? Since it is not obtained from the newcomers, then why do you object to me abolishing the rest stop and the Chamber of Commerce at the Receiving Heaven's Stone? Ningqing asked in a cold tone. Bu Yuanmao felt very unhappy in his heart. He knew that Ningqing had killed Mao Xiuxuan to establish his prestige. However, every year, the newcomers would come to the Receiving Heaven's Stone, which would bring a huge amount of black coins to the Gale Void Alliance. If this piece was missing, then many people in his Gale Void Alliance would feel dissatisfied. The reason why he could become the boss of the Gale Void Alliance was that he had to satisfy his subordinates. As for the lives of those newcomers, to be honest, how much was it worth? Even now he believed that Ningqing killing Mao Xiuxuan and destroying the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce was just an excuse to establish his prestige. He absolutely did not believe that Ningqing would be so lofty as to seek benefits for ordinary rogue cultivators and newcomers. City Master Ning, I have no opinion on choosing you as the City Master, and I also agree to it. However, what my Gale Void Alliance wants to do is my Gale Void Alliance's business. City Master Ning does not need to worry about it. City Master Ning, please continue to work hard. I will take my leave now. With that, Bu Yuanmao suddenly stood up and prepared to leave. Ningqing's mouth overflowed with a trace of disdain. Did he still want to leave after coming to the Hongmen banquet? If his strength had reached the plundering life realm, then this person would have already left. However, his current strength was not enough. Letting this Bu Yuanmao leave, unless he was an idiot. City Master, the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce has already been destroyed. From now on, the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce no longer exists in the Rootless Black City. As for the territories of the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce, they are sealed off just like the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce. Shen Zimo's voice arrived at the same time as Bu Yuanmao stood up. Everyone could feel the powerful killing intent coming from him. Good, you've worked hard. Ningqing had just finished this sentence when he heard Bu Yuanmao speak up in a calm voice. City Master Ning, I will now return to the Gale Void encampment. Please open the array formation. Bu Yuanmao also stood up, only to find that there was no exit. If he wanted to go out, then he would have to forcibly break through Ningqing's array formation. Although he was powerful, he did not dare to break open Ningqing's array formation in this place. Ningqing did not care about Bu Yuanmao at all. He knew that killing Mao Xiuxuan today was not enough. In order to stabilize the Rootless Black City, he had to kill Bu Yuanmao. Moreover, he could not kill Bu Yuanmao with his own hands. Zimo, have you investigated the crimes of the Gale Void Alliance? As soon as Ningqing's words came out, the entire assembly hall instantly turned ice cold. Ningqing killing Mao Xiuxuan before could be considered as establishing his prestige. If he killed Bu Yuanmao, then it would not just be establishing his prestige, but would also be exterminating him. City Master Ning, what do you want? Bu Yuanmao could feel his voice trembling. He did not think that Ningqing would be so daring. After killing Mao Xiuxuan, he even dared to act against him. One had to know that from the beginning to the end, he had never acted like Mao Xiuxuan. At least on the surface, he was still polite towards Ningqing. In the last 30 years, the Gale Void Alliance has killed 198 innocent newcomer cultivators, robbed 41 newcomer female cultivators, robbed 218 of the belongings of the rootless Black City's rogue cultivators, and killed 212 people. Shen Zimo's tone was laced with thick murderous intent. Ning Cheng glanced at the silent assembly hall and spoke up in a calm voice. Ladies and gentlemen, the rootless Black City belongs to all of us. I think there are some things that require everyone's help. As for the Gale Void Alliance's actions, I want to hear everyone's opinion. The assembly hall turned even more silent. Ning Cheng wanted everyone to show their loyalty. Chapter 474. Ning Cheng, do you want to cover the sky with one hand? Everyone, how long has it been since Ning Cheng came to the rootless Black City? He killed City Master Su, destroyed the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce, killed Mao Xiaoshuan in front of us, destroyed the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce, and now he wants to move against my Gale Void Alliance. Think about it, after he moves against me, do you think he will let you go? Buyuan Mao, on seeing Ning Cheng really wanting to kill him, immediately screamed out in a hoarse voice. Jian Xianming felt some regret in his heart. He should not have come to Ning Cheng's place. He thought that with so many people here, and Ning Cheng had just returned to the city master's mansion, he would not be able to stir up any big waves. He did not expect Ning Cheng to be so bold. Not only did he arrange an array formation to wait for everyone, but he also wanted to take complete control of the rootless Black City. At this time, even Jian Xianming did not stand up to speak. Seeing the silence in the hall, Bu Yuanmao's heart sank. He had thought about this situation before, and because he knew about it, he wanted to leave this place in a hurry. However, he did not expect Ning Cheng to be so determined and not let him leave. At this moment, Chao Jiming of the Rogue Cultivator Alliance stood up, cupped his fists and spoke. Everyone, I Chao Jiming, established the Rogue Cultivator Alliance for the purpose of everyone. I have never sought any benefits for myself. As City Master Ning said, too many innocent cultivators die in the rootless Black City every year. I do not have the ability to do these things. Now that City Master Ning has come forward to do these things, I will be the first to support him. I and Buyuan Mao do not have any grudges, but I am very clear about the Gale Void Alliance's actions. City Master Ning not only did not wrongly accuse the Gale Void Alliance, but even less than half of it was investigated. We will have to leave the rootless Black City in the future, but we still have friends and fellow disciples coming to the rootless Black City. This place must not continue like this. Chao Jiming did not continue, but brought out his weapon and stared at Buyuan Mao with a cold gaze. Before in the rootless Black City, I might have earned more. However, City Master Ning's actions were all for the sake of the rootless Black City. What Brother Chao said is right. I also have my own fellow disciples and friends. In the future, when I leave the rootless Black City, I do not want my friends to come to the rootless Black City to suffer humiliation. I also support City Master Ning. The second one to stand up was Gon Anren of the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce. Chao Jiming and Gon Anren also stood up. Black City Pill Unions Ji Xing and Black City Array Formation Alliances Wu Yingxia, who originally supported and feared Ning Cheng, also stood up at the same time. Immediately after, the Void Adventure Squad and He Cheng's artifact crafting team also stood up and expressed their support for Ning Cheng's new rules. Ning Cheng did not ask Jian Xianming of the Extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet or Lucio Kongbua of the Void Sect. Instead, he turned to Shen Zimo and spoke. Zimo, in that case, take the Cultivator Army to the Gale Void Alliance. How the auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce disappeared, the Gale Void Alliance will also disappear. Yes. Shen Zimo simply replied with one word, and quickly left the venue. Buyuan Mao's body turned cold. He knew that if he didn't compromise, he would definitely die. Even if the Gale Void Alliance was about to be destroyed, he couldn't care about anything else. Just as he was about to open his mouth, Ning Cheng brought out his 2 axes, bringing out 2 axe traces to chop towards Buyuan Mao. Initially, he did not intend to do it himself. However, Buyuan Mao wanted to give in. How could he let such a poisonous snake leave at this time? Seeing Ning Cheng start, Chao Jiming and the others also quickly acted. In just a moment, Buyuan Mao found himself surrounded by 5 or 6 artifact lights. Lucio Kongbua, who had not explicitly agreed with Ning Cheng, directly brought out an artifact and shot it towards Buyuan Mao, While speaking, City Master Ning's approach is for the benefit of the entire rootless Black City. How can you allow your Gale Void Alliance to oppose it? Bu Yuanmao knew that it would be difficult for him to get out of this situation peacefully. However, it was impossible for him to surrender without a fight. At the same time that he brought out his artifact, the surrounding space instantly became filled with all kinds of restrictions. His heart was like a mirror. He understood that Ning Cheng had activated an entrapment formation. He wanted to call out Jian Xianming for help. Unfortunately, he could not even see Jian Xianming at this time. Ning Cheng not only activated the entrapment formation, but also activated other array formations. All the cultivators attacking Bu Yuanmao felt their hearts turn cold at this moment. They could clearly feel that they were trapped within an array formation. This array formation did not have any effect on them. However, when they saw Bu Yuanmao trapped within the array formation, they immediately understood that Bu Yuanmao was under great restrictions. Several of them, who were still hesitating, felt even more fortunate in their hearts. If they had refused Ning Cheng, then Bu Yuanmao would not be the only one in the same situation as Bu Yuanmao. All the people attacking Bu Yuanmao could see each other. However, some of them had already noticed that Jian Xianming had disappeared. Apart from the dazzling lights and explosions from the artifacts, they could not see Jian Xianming at all. The few people who originally wanted to fish in troubled waters, after not seeing Jian Xianming, immediately threw away the idea of fishing in troubled waters. Instead, they crazily attacked Bu Yuanmao with their artifacts. They feared that once they had any ideas, they would be the next ones to fall in this place. Jian Xianming also brought out an artifact. However, he did not make a move. At the same time, he also brought out a pitch-black thunder bead. He wanted to take the opportunity to use the thunder bead to blast open Ning Cheng's array formation, and then immediately leave. But soon Jian Xianming understood that he was wrong. Ning Cheng did not attack Bu Yuanmao, but rather kept an eye on him. Jian Xianming did not have the time to think about it, as he threw out the thunder bead. At the same time, he found that several array flags also fell down along with his thunder bead. Immediately, those array flags transformed into flag shadows that completely wrapped around his thunder bead. Not good. Jian Xianming had just thought of this, when dozens of axes turned into axe shadows that wrapped around him. Violent explosions erupted in the assembly hall of the city master's mansion, while the lights from the various artifacts also overflowed in all directions. However, no one came here to meddle in other people's business, nor did anyone come here to ask about it. Even if Bu Yuanmao was more powerful, he would not be able to deal with 7 or 8 people by himself. Coupled with the help of Ning Cheng's array formation, even if the cultivators attacking him did not use their full strength, in just the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, without exception, several rays of light pierced through him, causing him to fall on the spot. At the same time that Bu Yuanmao fell, the surrounding space immediately cleared up. Apparently, Ning Cheng had removed the array formation. At this moment, everyone discovered that Bu Yuanmao was not the only one missing. Jian Xianming was also missing. No one spoke. Jian Xianming's cultivation was at the late stage of plundering life realm. Since he disappeared, it definitely was not because Ning Cheng let him go. Rather, during the fight a moment ago, Ning Cheng took the opportunity to kill Jian Xianming with the array formation. Ning Cheng acted as if nothing had happened, as he cupped his fists and spoke. Today, everyone took the first step for my rootless Black City. My city master's mansion will soon promulgate the laws and business regulations of the rootless Black City. I hope that everyone can support it. At this time, no one stood up to sing a different tune. Everyone agreed with Ning Cheng's words. Ning Cheng's methods were not only ruthless but also effective. Unless there was something wrong with their brains, no one would stand up against it in this place at this time. Ning Cheng continued. As for the extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet, I hope that everyone can help me deal with it. As soon as Ning Cheng's words came out, all the people in the venue felt as if their hearts had exploded. Everyone understood that while they had killed Bu Yuanmao, Ning Cheng had also killed Jian Xianming. What kind of method was this? Asking them to help deal with Jian Xianming's extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet's businesses. This was a sweet taste for everyone to taste. I am the first to agree with City Master Ning's statement and approach. I will not have even half a shred of objection. The first to stand up and speak was Dan Wenhong. The rest of the people looked at this fellow with some contempt. This fellow was originally a hardcore supporter of Jian Xianming. But now that he supported Ning Cheng, he was even more active than Chao Jimeng from the Rogue Cultivator Alliance. With just a glance, one could tell that he was someone who swayed according to the wind. Good. Ning Cheng clapped his hands and took out a leather scroll before speaking. This is the result of this meeting, as well as the vote to promulgate the rootless Black City's laws. Everyone, please sign your names here. Ning Cheng's laws had not yet been fully promulgated, yet he wanted others to sign their names here. This kind of domineering action, no one objected and everyone stepped forward to sign their names. Whether the starting point was good or bad, strength was the most obvious. Without strength, nothing else mattered. As for Ning Cheng's strength, the people here could clearly see it. The complex forces within the rootless Black City, under Ning Cheng's Hongmen banquet, had simply straightened it out. Some people felt dissatisfied, but they could do nothing about it. Not all of the people felt dissatisfied in their hearts. At least the rootless Black City now had a unified set of laws, which was much better than the previous state of disunity. The rootless Black City's new city master Ning Cheng, together with the Heaven City Chamber of Commerce, the Rogue Cultivator Alliance, the Void Adventure Squad, the Void Sect, the Black City Pill Union, the Black City Array Formation Alliance, the Black City Artifact Crafting Alliance and other forces, jointly promulgated the new laws of the rootless Black City. At the same time, it prohibited the rootless Black City from killing the innocent, bullying the new rogue cultivators, forcibly occupying female cultivators and other crimes. Once committed, they would face the same fate as the Gale Void Alliance, the Silver Thunder Chamber of Commerce, the Auspicious Star Chamber of Commerce, the Extinguishing Karma Starry Sky Fleet, and the other major forces. For a time, the entire rootless Black City and the receiving Heaven's Stone underwent massive changes. They could no longer see any cultivators bullying the weak, nor could they see any random act of robbing the newcomers who came to the receiving Heaven's Stone. Even if there was a huge hatred between them, they had to wait until they left the rootless Black City to resolve it. There were still some void ships coming and going from the receiving Heaven's Stone. However, the price was no longer 50,000 black coins, but 10,000 to 30,000. The receiving Heaven's Stone also had the same black coin exchange rate as the rootless Black City. Once a new cultivator came to the receiving Heaven's Stone, they would only need 3 million spirit stones to reach the rootless Black City safely. Generally, cultivators who could cross the Heaven's Way and reach the receiving Heaven's Stone would not be able to come up with a few million spirit stones. The guards of the several major districts of the rootless Black City were completely replaced by the cultivator army of the city master's mansion. As such, there were no longer any blind spots for the guards. At the same time, living in a better place meant that they would have to pay more taxes. These taxes were all used for the cultivator army, as well as the protection and operation of the rootless Black City. Although this new law touched the interests of some people, it also won the support of the majority of the cultivators. Almost 90% of the cultivators wholeheartedly supported the new law promulgated by the city master's mansion. With the gradual improvement of the cultivator army also replaced the cultivators who supported Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's status in the rootless Black City had reached an unshakable level. Chapter 475. After Ning Cheng took control of the rootless Black City, he handed over the management of the rootless Black City to Lan Wenbin and Shin Zimo. He had obtained some crystal stones from Su Kai. However, the most important thing for him now was to use these crystal stones to improve his cultivation. As for the Void Explosive Golden Wasp King Egg, Ning Cheng had already sealed it in a jade box. He did not have any knowledge about cultivating Void Explosive Golden Wasps. Moreover, Su Liangji's ring did not contain anything related to this matter. Although he wanted to make the Void Explosive Golden Wasps recognize him as its master, he could not do anything about it. Moreover, Ning Cheng was very careful about the Void Explosive Golden Wasp King Egg. After all, this Wasp King Egg had not yet hatched and had not recognized him as its master. In case he was not careful and allowed the aura of this wasp king egg to leak out, the consequences would not be good. Of the more than 100 cultivators who went to the Blue Essence Stone mine, no one came back except for him. This made Ningcheng temporarily dispel the idea of searching for the Blue Essence Stone mine. Even if he wanted to go, he would have to wait until his cultivation was higher. Without cultivation resources, he had no other choice. Now that he had access to cultivation resources, he naturally chose to go into seclusion with Luofei. After Ningcheng went into seclusion, the rootless Black City finally stabilized. If cultivators didn't fight for magic treasures and treasures, they would rarely fight for the sake of personal feelings. Relatively speaking, this place was much simpler to manage compared to ordinary mortal cities. Now that the rootless Black City had strict laws and the cultivator army as their backing, cultivators who committed crimes against the law were as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. Even if there were a few such people, the guards of the rootless Black City's city master's mansion would immediately kill them. As for the other forces, after a period of time, they also found that without exploiting the newcomers, their income did not seem to have decreased at all. On the contrary, doing things in such an environment made things much smoother. 5 years later, Ningcheng once again used up 8 crystal stones, while using up more than 1 billion spirit stones. The only crystal stone left was for Ji Luofei. He was afraid that Ji Luofei might encounter some problems during her advancement. Therefore, he left behind a crystal stone. As for the spiritual grasses in the ring, he turned them all into medicinal pills. Although his alchemy level had improved to that of a Tier 8 Earth Pill Grandmaster, his cultivation only rose to the Crucible Transformation 7th level. Compared to Ningcheng, Ji Luofei already had the cultivation of Crucible Transformation 8th level. Izhuju, who stayed in seclusion in the city master's mansion, with the help of Ning City's large number of pills and spirit stones, in just 5 years, she managed to advance to the early stages of the soul-sculpting realm. Her qualifications were simply indescribably heaven-defying. When Ningcheng rescued her, she was a skinny girl with only a thin layer of skin. But now, she had grown into a slim and graceful young girl. Standing next to Ji Luofei, they were almost the same height. She had an incomparably delicate and pretty face, although it could not be compared to Ji Luofei, but it also had a unique introverted temperament. However, she rarely left the city master's mansion. Most of the time, apart from going into seclusion, she would occasionally ask Ningcheng and Ji Luofei about some cultivation issues when they came out of seclusion. What happened back then had caused great harm to her. As she grew older, this harm seemed to still exist. Other than Ningcheng and Ji Luofei, Izhuju never spoke to a third person. After Ningcheng reached the Crucible Transformation 7th level, he immediately stopped his seclusion. He calculated that there were still 2 years before the void ship from outer space would arrive. 2 years later, he would definitely leave with Ji Luofei and Izhuju. He had heard that the void ship would leave the rootless Black City and arrive at the starry sky celestial world. However, it would take many years to fly through the void. The reason why he wanted to go out now was that he wanted to adapt to the void for a while. In case the void ship encountered any problems in the void, he would at least be prepared for it. People who did not think about the future would have to worry about the near future. Ningcheng had already understood this truth after roaming the true cultivation world for so many years. In the deepest part of the city master's mansion, within the spiritual gathering array cave, Ji Luofei stood up with a light whistle. She finally broke through to the Crucible Transformation 9th level, which made her feel extremely happy. Ningcheng had only left the rootless Black City for half a year, yet she managed to advance once again. Maybe by the time Ningcheng returned, she would have already reached the great circle of the Crucible Transformation realm. Big Sister Luofei, did you break through again? Izhuju's joyful voice arrived. Apparently, she had been waiting outside for a while. Ji Luofei came out and pulled Izhuju's hand before speaking in a soft voice. You've been waiting for me for a long time, right? Is there something you need from me? When I saw the spiritual chi fluctuations coming from Big Sister's side, I knew that Big Sister was about to break through. So I came over to see. I also wanted Big Sister to accompany me out. Izhuju spoke with a somewhat bashful expression. Ji Luofei smiled. I also wanted to go out and buy something. We will be leaving the rootless Black City in a little more than a year. I heard that the void ship would have to fly for a long time in the void. Ijuju was just about to speak when she saw a pale red flying sword fall into Ji Luofei's hand. Ji Luofei grabbed the flying sword and glanced at it. Immediately, a look of surprise appeared on her face before she spoke up. Juju, something happened in the rootless Black City. Hurry up and come out with me. When Ji Luofei and Ijuju arrived at the city master's mansion's main hall, Shen Zimo anxiously paced back and forth inside the main hall. The rest of the people in the main hall also had anxious expressions on their faces. Deacon Shen, about the void monstrous beast invasion, you can slowly tell us about it. Don't worry about it. After Ji Luofei arrived at the main hall, she calmed down. Ning Cheng was the city master of the rootless Black City. Under normal circumstances, Ning Cheng did not have to worry about the matters of the rootless Black City. Shen Zimo and Lan Wenbin, as well as Gan Anren and Chao Jimeng, who had recently joined the rootless Black City, could easily deal with it. Now that Gan Anren and Chao Jimeng were not here, only Shen Zimo anxiously waited for her. Shen Zimo was a very calm person under normal circumstances. However, with him showing such anxiety today, it showed that this matter was not necessarily related to the monstrous beast invasion mentioned on the flying sword. Senior apprentice Sister Ji, a void battleship suddenly appeared outside the rootless Black City today. This void battleship ignored the rootless Black City's forbidden space restriction and tried to forcibly enter the rootless Black City. As a result, my rootless Black City's cultivator army managed to stop it. I did not expect that this battleship would have such amazing combat capabilities. In just half an incense stick worth of time, it managed to kill hundreds of my rootless Black City's crucible transformation guards. When Shen Zimo spoke until here, even Ji Luofei could not help but cry out in shock. Since Ning Cheng reenacted the rootless Black City's laws, the rootless Black City had never suffered more than 10 casualties. Now that hundreds of cultivators had died, it was obvious that the number of casualties was still increasing. It was just too terrifying. After Shen Zimo spoke these words, he also calmed down a lot. Senior apprentice Sister Ji, these are not the worst. The worst thing is that when our rootless Black City used the array formation to block the void battleship, countless void explosive golden wasps appeared outside the rootless Black City. These void explosive golden wasps should have been chasing after the void battleship. That void battleship wanted to rush into the rootless Black City, but these void explosive golden wasps also started attacking the rootless Black City's array formation. When Ji Luofei heard this, her heart sank even more. She was very clear about the power of the void explosive golden wasps. Initially, when she and Ning Cheng had ambushed Su Liangji, they ended up encountering Su Liangji and the others surrounded by the void explosive golden wasps. Even to this day, none of the cultivators who ended up surrounded by the void explosive golden wasps had returned. As for the void battleship, there was also no news about it. Ning Cheng had a void explosive golden wasp's wasp king egg on him. If this kind of thing surrounded a city, how terrifying would it be? What about the void battleship? Ji Luofei couldn't help but ask another question. The void battleship is temporarily trapped by the array formation of the Array Formation Alliance's Association Master Wuxia. It won't be able to break free for some time. However, those void explosive golden wasps are too terrifying. Once they break through the rootless Black City's defensive array, the consequences would be unimaginable. Shen Zimo spoke with a worried expression. In his view, if these void explosive golden wasps rushed into the rootless Black City, the rootless Black City would turn into a beehive. At the same time, the original cultivators of the rootless Black City would disappear without a trace. Ji Luofei really wanted Ning Cheng to come back. However, when she thought of Ning Cheng coming back, he would immediately have to face countless void explosive golden wasps, causing her heart to tremble. I've already sent a message to City Master Ning. City Master Ning should have received my message by now. Shen Zimo did not have the same thoughts as Ji Luofei. When the countless void explosive golden wasps attacked the rootless Black City, he had immediately sent a message to Ning Cheng. Ji Luofei sighed. In that case, let's head to the rootless Black City's walls to take a look. Shen Zimo nodded and immediately called for hundreds of guards to follow Ji Luofei towards the rootless Black City's walls. It was not that the rootless Black City had never been attacked by void monstrous beasts before. This kind of thing had happened several times in Shen Zimo's memory. However, no matter which time the void monstrous beasts attacked the rootless Black City, none of them were as terrifying as this one. Ji Luofei arrived at the rootless Black City's walls. Only then did she realize how terrifying the situation was. Initially, she had heard Ningcheng say that more than 100 void explosive golden wasps had besieged and killed hundreds of cultivators. However, the number of void explosive golden wasps she saw here was simply uncountable. She could only see the void explosive golden wasps outside the rootless Black City, numbering in the tens of thousands. Even through the array formation, she could clearly smell the murderous aura. At the same time, there were also countless cultivators above the rootless Black City, using the array formations to constantly attack the void explosive golden wasps. Wu Yingzhe of the Array Formation Alliance led a group of array formation masters who understood array formations to constantly maintain the rootless Black City's city protecting array formation. Gan Anren, Chao Jimeng, Du Jiashu and the others led some cultivators from the cultivator army and stood in the void above the rootless Black City's citadel, constantly blocking the innumerable void explosive golden wasps. Junior apprentice Sister Luofei, it might be difficult to resist this time. There are just too many void explosive golden wasps. Moreover, they are also desperately attacking the rootless Black City. I don't know what kind of medicine these explosive golden wasps ate. Gan Anren, on seeing Ji Luofei come over quickly, came over to greet her. If City Master Ning hadn't rearranged the rootless Black City's city protecting array formation, maybe the rootless Black City would not have been able to hold on. Wu Yingzhe spoke with a solemn expression. Ningcheng was not in the rootless Black City. As such, the rootless Black City's city protecting array formation completely relied on him and his people to protect it. Chapter 476. Ningcheng was currently in the vicinity of the blue essence stone mine that Su Liangji and the others had found. His cultivation had already reached the crucible transformation 7th level, and he also possessed the twin wings of the heavenly clouds. After training in the void for a few months, he still couldn't bear to part with the blue essence stone mine, so he came over to take a look. As soon as he arrived at this place, he knew that the blue essence stone mine had already been dug out by someone. The blue halo was much smaller than before, and those terrifying void explosive golden wasps had also disappeared. Although the blue essence stone mine was a lot less, Ningcheng was still very satisfied in his heart. At least there was still somewhere here. The blue essence stone, or was 100 times more valuable than the black essence stones. As such, as long as he could get his hands on 10 million worth of blue essence stones, he would be able to exchange it for 1 billion black coins. Ningcheng had not yet thought of a way to dig out all the ores in this place in the shortest possible time, when a message suddenly came from his communication pearl. After reading this message, Ningcheng suddenly felt anxious in his heart. Shen Zimo had sent him a message, saying that the rootless Black City was surrounded by an endless horde of void explosive golden wasps. This news immediately made Ningcheng lose even half a shred of interest in mining the blue essence stone mine. Ningcheng had personally witnessed the fierceness of the void explosive golden wasps. Once this kind of wasps became endless, then even if the rootless Black City had more crucible transformation cultivators, they would still end up being overwhelmed by these void explosive golden wasps. As for the city protecting array formations that he had arranged, even if it took a little longer, it would not be able to block the exploding golden wasps. He had to return to the rootless Black City as soon as possible. He absolutely could not let Luofei and Juju fall into danger. Even if the rootless Black City had a cultivator army, once the city protecting array formation broke, the cultivator army would not be able to take care of Luofei and Juju. Even if Ningcheng was on the verge of reaching the great circle of the crucible transformation 7th level, if he relied on his twin wings of the heavenly clouds, it would still take him more than half a month to reach the rootless Black City from the vicinity of the blue essence stone mine. If they encountered a meteor shower or encountered some twists and turns along the way, it would take at least a month. For Ningcheng, if he wanted to return to the rootless Black City as soon as possible, then other than using Sukai's transmission array flags, he had no other choice. If it was an ordinary time, Ningcheng would never have used the transmission array flags left behind by Sukai. Sukai's transmission array flags, which were used to teleport through the void, could easily be swept away by void dislocations and void collapses. In the process of teleportation, if one were to be sucked into a void dislocation or a void collapse, it would be a narrow escape from death. Unfortunately, Ningcheng did not have any other choice at this moment. In fact, Ningcheng did not even think about it. After learning that the exploding golden wasps had besieged the city, he had already taken out the transmission array flags. From this place to the rootless Black City, even if one used the fastest transmission method, it would still take more than half a day. During this period, he wanted to find some of the void islands where Sukai had arranged the transmission arrays, and then follow these void islands, one by one, to return. Within the rootless Black City, the outermost array formation gave out a catcha sound. Not to mention that Wuxia was only a level 7 array formation grandmaster. There were not many array formation grandmasters around him who could help him. Even if Ningcheng were here, facing so many void explosive golden wasps, he would not be able to resist. As soon as the outer array formation cracked, over 1,000 cultivators were swept up by the endless beehives and disappeared without a trace in the span of 10 breaths. Faced with such a terrifying scene, the cultivators fighting against the exploding golden wasps at the top of the rootless Black City's city walls turned ashen. Once the rootless Black City's inner defensive array broke, the many cultivators within the rootless Black City would not have even the slightest chance of survival. Moreover, not many cultivators would be able to escape in the end. Once swept away by this void explosive golden wasp swarm, the entire rootless Black City would cease to exist. The endless exploding golden wasps' inhalers, and the countless exploding golden lights from their stingers continuously bombarded the rootless Black City's inner defensive array. This inner defensive array was like a lotus flower in the cold wind, swaying constantly. At this moment, everyone was crazily attacking the void explosive golden wasps while maintaining the array formation. However, there were just too many void explosive golden wasps. Not only that, but the defensive capabilities of the void explosive golden wasps were also extremely powerful. For a late-stage crucible transformation cultivator, to kill an exploding golden wasp, they would need to strike it several times in a row, while simultaneously striking the vital points of the void explosive golden wasps. Under this kind of disparity, the fighting spirit of the cultivators within the rootless Black City grew weaker and weaker. At this moment, many of the cultivators were thinking about how to escape once the void explosive golden wasps broke through the defenses of the rootless Black City. Even Ji Luofei was ready to rush into the void with Ijuju at any time. Kacha. The rootless Black City's inner defensive array gave out another ka-cha sound, followed by a horrifying crack appearing on the rootless Black City's inner defensive array. Even Chao Jimeng, who had rushed to the front, shouted out, "Everyone pay attention. Once the inner defensive array breaks, remember to escape in all directions. Do not concentrate in one direction." A feeling of death spread out. If there was an opportunity to break through, many of the cultivators would have already rushed out. In the face of the exploding golden wasps surrounding the rootless Black City like an iron bucket, breaking through at this time would only result in death. Everyone was waiting for the moment when the rootless Black City broke through. Once it did, they would then look for an opportunity to escape. Ningcheng rushed to the outside of the rootless Black City, and saw the endless void explosive golden wasps, causing him to feel a chill run down his spine. The void explosive golden wasps had already broken through the rootless Black City's outer defensive array. As such, even the inner defensive array was in danger. Ningcheng's spiritual consciousness swept towards the anxious-looking Ji Luofei, as well as Ijuju standing beside Ji Luofei, causing his heart to calm down a bit. Ningcheng had rearranged the array formations around the rootless Black City. Therefore, even if the void explosive golden wasps did not break through these array formations, his spiritual consciousness would still be able to pass through them unimpeded. Now that the void explosive golden wasps had broken through the Black City's outer defensive array, his spiritual consciousness could now see everything clearly. He saw a huge black warship in the middle of the Black City's inner defensive array and the outer defensive array, wrapped in array flags. Ningqing immediately knew that Wuxia had arranged these array flags. However, with Ningqing's attainments in array formations, he could also see that the reason why the void explosive golden wasps did not continue to attack this black warship was not because of the shackling array flags arranged by Wuxia. Rather, it was because this void battleship had an aura-concealing array disk. This array disk was much stronger than the array flags arranged by Wuxia. However, this seemingly endless void explosive golden wasps completely ignored the black warship in front of them. Ningqing immediately understood that this was definitely not normal. According to the information provided by Shinzimo, these void explosive golden wasps came from this warship. However, this warship was actually concealed by a top-grade array disk. Even without the exploding golden wasps attacking, all the exploding golden wasps were attacking the rootless Black City. How could this be normal? Ningqing did not hold back, and just shot out a red flame. The void explosive golden wasps besieging the rootless Black City immediately sensed it. However, Ningqing's arrival was too sudden. With an explosive sound, the flame instantly burned a gap in the dense swarm of exploding golden wasps. Ningqing took advantage of this opportunity to stimulate the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and rush in through the gap. Soon he arrived at the top of the rootless Black City's walls. Although Ningqing's celestial river flame was extremely powerful, and he had cast out the maximal flame spiritual technique to create this line of fire, it did not kill many exploding golden wasps. At least, compared to the endless swarm of void explosive golden wasps, it was negligible. Ningqing, who had rushed to the top of the rootless Black City's walls, took a deep breath. He knew that it was absolutely impossible to kill the dense swarm of void explosive golden wasps with the help of his celestial river flame. Just now, he had only simulated the maximal flame spiritual technique and opened up a path, causing him to consume too much of his true essence and spiritual consciousness. If he continued to use this spiritual technique, he would not even have to wait for the void explosive golden wasps to finish killing them before he himself fell to the ground. City Master is back. City Master. Ningqing landed at the top of the city's walls, immediately attracting everyone's attention. Although many people knew that Ningqing's return would not solve the problem, Ningqing's return made the restless rootless Black City's cultivators calm down a lot. Ji Luofei quickly brought Ijuju to Ningqing's side, feeling relieved in her heart. City Master, what should we do now? Shinzimo also rushed over. Ningqing, on seeing the rest of the people rushing over, quickly spoke up. Everyone, don't panic. Block the exploding golden wasps with everything you have. As long as you can hold on for another half an hour, I will have a way to solve the problem. The cultivators, who were originally fighting against the void explosive golden wasps, after listening to Ningqing's words, felt a bit more at ease in their hearts. At the same time, their resistance against the exploding golden wasps also improved a lot. After all, Ningqing could rush in from outside the city. If he wanted to rush out and escape, these void explosive golden wasps would not be able to stop him. Since Ningqing decided to stay here, then maybe he really had a way. Ningqing helped Wuxia throw out dozens of array flags. After repairing most of the cracks in the defensive array formation, he spoke up. I'm going to look for something. Once I find that thing, I'll be fine. Dear, Ji Luofei called out in worry. Ningqing patted Ji Luofei's hand and spoke. Luofei, don't worry. I found a way to deal with these void explosive golden wasps. I'll lead these exploding golden wasps away, and let Wuxia bring people to repair the array formation. I'll go with you. Ji Luofei quickly spoke up. Ningqing understood Ji Luofei's meaning. Ji Luofei wanted to bring Ijuju into the miniature world. However, he shook his head and spoke. The level of my miniature world is too low. It is not stable in the void. Once it encounters a spatial collapse or a spatial compression, my miniature world would most likely collapse. Therefore, you and Juju cannot go. As long as I lead the exploding golden wasps away, the rootless black city would be the safest place. You don't have to worry about me. I have the ability to walk away. Ji Luofei also understood the meaning of Ning Cheng's words. Ning Cheng's miniature world was indeed too unstable in the void. If it did not contain any life, it could still be used as a ring. However, once it contained life, the spatial laws of the miniature world would become even more unstable. In many cases, Ning Cheng would need to divide his attention to protect the miniature world. Okay, Zhu and I will wait for you here. Ji Luofei finally nodded. She agreed to Ning Cheng's words. Zimo, I will not be in the rootless Black City. This time, the cultivator army suffered a lot of losses. While I lead the exploding golden wasps away, you must take some people to stabilize the rootless Black City. If anyone tries to take advantage of the chaos, kill them without mercy. Ning Cheng once again reminded Shen Zimo, who was standing on the side waiting for orders. In fact, there was no need for Ning Cheng to say those words. All the cultivators felt extremely fearful of Ning Cheng, the city master. With so many exploding golden wasps surrounding the rootless Black City, one could say that no one had the ability to rush out of the rootless Black City. However, Ning Cheng managed to rush out unscathed and even killed a bunch of exploding golden wasps. Chapter 477. After Ning Cheng finished speaking, he did not rush out of the rootless Black City. Instead, he rushed into the city. Since the void explosive golden wasps besieged the city, almost all the cultivators within the rootless Black City had come to the city walls to resist the explosive golden wasps. After Ning Cheng rushed into the city, he did not encounter a single person. If not for the countless cultivators fighting against the explosive golden wasps above the city walls, one might have thought that this was a dead city in such a quiet place. After the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng arrived at a very remote street. A dark shadow on seeing Ning Cheng suddenly jumped up in panic. This dark shadow turned into a faintly discernible shadow as it passed in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's false domain unfolded, and at the same time, several axe shadows shot out. Within Ning Cheng's false domain, this lightning-like dark shadow instantly slowed down. Ning Cheng could clearly see that this dark shadow was not much bigger than a domestic cat. Its entire body was pitch black, and its fur was as smooth as a mirror. This was obviously a very agile monstrous beast. Moreover, this monstrous beast even had a single horn on its head. The monstrous beast, bound by Ning Cheng's false domain, suddenly panicked and started to crazily struggle. However, without waiting for this monstrous beast to break free from Ning Cheng's false domain, Ning Cheng's 12 axe shadows had already arrived. These 12 axe shadows turned into 3 axe traces, which completely sealed this one-horned monstrous beast. Poof! A sound emerged, and a line of blood spurted out. This monstrous beast could only struggle a few times within Ning Cheng's false domain before Ning Cheng's cosmic true devil axe split it into 2 halves. With a pata sound, it fell to the ground. Ning Cheng did not care about the monstrous beast he just killed. Instead, he took out a storage talisman from the claw of this monstrous beast. Ning Cheng quickly broke open the storage talisman, revealing a basketball-sized grayish-white giant egg. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh. It really was a Wasp King egg. When he was still outside the rootless Black City, his spiritual consciousness had already sensed the familiar aura of the exploding golden wasp's Wasp King egg within the rootless Black City. The reason why it was familiar was that he had seen this Wasp King egg before. Now that he had killed this unknown monster, the Wasp King egg that he had obtained was indeed one of the 2 Wasp King eggs that he had encountered before. A few years ago, in the mountain range with the Blue Essence Stone Mine, he saw 2 exploding golden wasps' Wasp King eggs. At that time, he only managed to snatch one of the Wasp King eggs. Because he was not greedy and only managed to snatch one, after he sealed the Wasp King egg, the void explosive golden wasps did not chase after him. Unexpectedly, after such a long time, the other Wasp King egg not only did not hatch, but instead ended up stolen by a small monstrous beast into the rootless Black City. For the void explosive golden wasps, the only Wasp King egg was inside the rootless Black City. As such, It would have been strange if the void explosive golden wasps did not crazily attack the rootless Black City. Ning Cheng understood that this Wasp King egg was not brought in by the monstrous beast he had just killed. It must have been the work of the void battleship outside. This monstrous beast had also come under orders to bring this Wasp King egg to the rootless Black City to attract the attention of the exploding golden wasps and the cultivators of the rootless Black City. As for why the cultivator in the void battleship did this, Ning Cheng still couldn't understand it. However, that fellow probably did not think that he had seen this Wasp King egg before. Therefore, as soon as he arrived outside the rootless Black City, he immediately felt the aura of the Wasp King egg. The moment Ning Cheng took out the Wasp King egg, the void explosive golden wasps outside the city immediately attacked the rootless Black City even more fiercely. Fortunately, Ning Cheng managed to seal the aura of the Wasp King egg in the shortest possible time, before quickly rushing out of the rootless Black City. Ning Cheng rushed out of the rootless Black City at a very fast speed. Except for a few cultivators who saw it, most of the cultivators did not even feel it. Just as he rushed out of the rootless Black City, the endless exploding golden wasps once again surrounded him. Ning Cheng once again used a modified version of the maximal flame spiritual technique. A line of fire erupted out, and a passage directly led to the void battleship sealed by the array flags. Under the stimulation of the twin wings of the heavenly clouds, Ning Cheng arrived at the side of the battleship in just a breath. At the same time, his Nirvana spear also struck the array disc covering the black void battleship. Catcha, a sound emerged, and the top-grade concealment array disc, under Ning Cheng's full strength, instantly turned into slag. A huge black void battleship appeared in front of Ning Cheng. However, this black void battleship's door was still ajar. Ning Cheng's figure flashed as he entered the battleship's ajar door. Most likely, this door was not for him, but for the monstrous beast that he had killed. A scarlet-robed youth sat on the floor of the battleship, apparently in the process of healing himself. His injuries were extremely serious, with a huge bloody hole running through his chest, causing his aura to wither. "Who are you?" The scarlet-robed youth, on seeing Ning Cheng rush into the battleship, immediately stared at Ning Cheng and asked. A murderous aura started to gather around him. However, his injuries were just too severe. Even if he wanted to attack Ning Cheng, he would not have the strength to do so. Ning Cheng did not speak any nonsense. The Nirvana spear in his hand shot out and directly stabbed towards the scarlet-robed man's glabella. He did not care about who this man was. Since this person dared to guide the void explosive golden wasps to destroy the rootless Black City, then for Ning Cheng, this person was an enemy, not a friend. As such, there was no need to show any courtesy. "Stop!" The scarlet-robed youth shouted out in anger. His expression looked just like an ant trying to bite an elephant. Even with Ning Cheng's cultivation, he still dared to attack him. How could Ning Cheng stop? The Nirvana spear's spear intent erupted to the extreme. Bang! What shocked Ning Cheng was that such a powerful spear intent, which was aimed at a severely injured youth, ended up being caught by this youth's hand. Ning Cheng was sure that if this youth were not seriously injured, he would not be able to stand in front of this scarlet-robed youth. Poof! The scarlet-robed youth caught the spearhead and spat out another mouthful of blood. Although his cultivation was more than double that of Ning Cheng's, it was a pity that his injuries were equally terrifying. Otherwise, it would have been absolutely impossible for these void explosive golden wasps to block his path. Moreover, it was also impossible for Ning Cheng to hurt him. Because of such heavy injuries, when he grabbed Ning Cheng's Nirvana spear, it also caused his injuries to worsen, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood on the spot. Ning Cheng felt his heart tremble, but he did not dare to neglect his actions. He immediately brought out all 36 axes. This was the first time he had encountered such a powerful opponent. Although Tsung Wei was powerful, he and Tsung Wei were friends. However, this scarlet-robed youth was definitely an enemy rather than a friend. Buzz buzz buzz. Bursts of axe shadows crisscrossed the interior of the battleship. These axe shadows instantly formed an axe-killing entrapment array, trapping the scarlet-robed youth within. The scarlet-robed youth once again spat out a few mouthfuls of blood, and could no longer hold on to Ning Cheng's Nirvana spear. His hand slightly loosened, allowing Ning Cheng's Nirvana spear to turn in a half-arc in front of his eyes, before once again bursting with killing intent. Ah! The scarlet-robed youth erupted with a burst of screams. He suddenly stood up and punched Ning Cheng's Nirvana Spear's spearhead. The seemingly endless spear intent seemed to have no effect on the scarlet-robed youth's fist. A powerful true essence backlash erupted, causing the long spear in Ning Cheng's hand to fly out and hit the roof of the void battleship, giving out a loud clanging sound. Ning Cheng also flew out and hit the wall of the battleship, spitting out a few mouthfuls of blood. It looked like Ning Cheng had been injured by the battleship's wall. However, only Ning Cheng knew that he had been injured by the other party's terrifying true essence. Otherwise, with his rank 6 imperial body, no matter what, he would not have ended up vomiting blood. Although the scarlet-robed youth had injured Ning Cheng, his injuries were just too terrifying. The 36 cosmic true devil axes formed an axe-killing array, causing it to explode onto his body. Puff puff. Once again spurting out a few mouthfuls of blood, the scarlet-robed youth finally slumped to the ground once again. Ning Cheng's cosmic true devil axes had left a deep bloody groove on one of his shoulders. Even with the quality of Ning Cheng's cosmic true devil axes, coupled with Ning Cheng's powerful axe intent, it unexpectedly could not split open half of his shoulders. From this, it could be seen that this person's cultivation was several levels higher compared to Ning Cheng's. Ning Cheng did not even have the time to wipe the blood from his mouth, as he raised his hand, causing the Nirvana spear to once again appear in his hand. The next moment, he rushed towards the scarlet-robed youth with even more madness. Puff! Another sound emerged as the spear pierced through flesh and blood. The scarlet-robed youth sitting on the ground was finally unable to continue. The Nirvana spear pierced through his glabella, destroying his sea of consciousness. Even so, the Nirvana spear was still unable to completely blow up his head. The scarlet-robed youth slowly raised his hand, holding the Nirvana spear that had pierced through his glabella, as he coldly stared at Ning Cheng and spoke. "You will regret this." After saying these words, the scarlet-robed youth finally could not hold on any longer and fell to the ground. Chapter 478. Bang! Only at this moment did a void explosive golden wasp rush into the void battleship. From this, one could see how short the battle between Ning Cheng and the scarlet-robed youth was. Facing the exploding golden wasps that suddenly rushed into the void battleship, even if Ning Cheng wanted to regret it, it was too late. What's more, facing a fellow who used the exploding golden wasps to massacre the city, he would not regret killing the opposite party. The moment the exploding golden wasps rushed in, Ning Cheng brought out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. He did not even have the time to pull out his Nirvana spear. The 36 axes all chopped down on the void explosive golden wasp. Bang bang bang. A series of explosions rang out as the exploding golden wasp's stinger burst apart. The golden light struck the everlasting Blue Thunder City, but it did not cause any damage to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had the everlasting Blue Thunder City to block the attacks. Although the exploding golden wasps had a strong defense, they could not stop Ning Cheng's 36 small axes. The powerful axe intent directly chopped off the head of the exploding golden wasp. After killing the exploding golden wasp, Ning Cheng did not wait for the next exploding golden wasp to rush in. He stepped towards the console of the battleship and pulled the close button. Gotcha! The battleship's door closed in the shortest time possible. The few exploding golden wasps that had just rushed in struck the outside of the battleship with their mouths, causing the battleship to shake. Ning Cheng did not dare to delay for even a moment, and rushed to the console of the battleship. He could see that this battleship had a higher performance compared to his 5-star battleship Sifting Orchid. However, it was not an intelligent one. Sifting Orchid could control the battleship by itself, and did not even have a console. However, this battleship had a console. Ning Cheng also had some doubts. He could not find a place with an intelligent control system, or perhaps this intelligent control system also needed to recognize a master. When the battleship was overturned by a swarm of exploding golden wasps, Ning Cheng finally found the takeoff button on the console. Ning Cheng easily started the battleship. As soon as the battleship started to move, the void explosive golden wasps immediately discovered it. Nevertheless, the exploding golden wasps did not swarm over. Ningcheng did not hesitate to take out the void explosive golden wasp's wasp king egg. Not only did he not use any restrictions to seal the aura, but he also deliberately let the aura leak out. At this time, the rootless Black City's inner defensive array had already cracked, causing all the cultivators guarding the rootless Black City to feel despair. However, at this moment, the seemingly endless exploding golden wasps unexpectedly stopped their attack. Without waiting for everyone to understand what was going on, the exploding golden wasps all swarmed towards the Black Void battleship. The Black Void battleship hovered over the rootless Black City for a long time before swaying crookedly over it. Regardless of whether the battleship continued to shake or not, at least the exploding golden wasps no longer continued to attack the rootless Black City. All the void exploding golden wasps, after Ningcheng took out the exploding golden wasp king egg, immediately chased after the Black Void battleship. The cultivators standing atop the walls of the rootless Black City, at this moment, seemed to have forgotten about the power of the exploding golden wasps. All of them stared at the Black Void battleship in front of them, until Shen Zimo remembered Yi Mo's words and shouted. City Lord Ning lured the exploding golden wasps away. Association Lord Wu quickly bring people to repair the array formation. Yes, yes. Wu Yingzhe and the surrounding people quickly reacted and quickly repaired the city protecting array formation, which was riddled with holes due to the exploding golden wasps' attacks. Even more cultivators anxiously looked at the black battleship swaying over the rootless Black City. They did not know why this black battleship did not escape, and instead just circled around the rootless Black City. Ji Luofei felt even more anxious in her heart. She knew that Ningcheng was inside the void battleship. It was not that Ningcheng did not want to escape, rather he did not know how to operate the void battleship. Hearing the void battleship issuing a harsh grinding sound, Ningcheng knew that if he did not quickly leave this place, the void battleship would eventually fall apart. After a dozen breaths, bang! A white line shot out from the back of the void battleship. The void battleship finally stopped swaying around the rootless Black City, and directly rushed into the endless void. The endless void exploding golden wasps on seeing the void battleship leave quickly chased after it. In just half an incense stick worth of time, not a single void exploding golden wasps could be seen outside the rootless Black City. If not for the broken array formation and the broken corpses of the exploding golden wasps, no one would have believed that this place was besieged by an endless horde of void exploding golden wasps, just half an incense stick worth of time ago. Feeling the joy of being reborn after death, everyone could not believe that these void exploding golden wasps had suddenly disappeared. Some of the cultivators started hesitating about leaving the rootless Black City, lest they end up surrounded by the void exploding golden wasps again in the future. Shin Zimo flew to the top of the rootless Black City city wall and spoke out loudly. Fellow Dao friends of the rootless Black City, our city master Ning has just returned. The endless horde of exploding golden wasps has now been led away by City Master Ning. Without City Master Ning leading the exploding golden wasps away, we would have already turned into ghosts under the jaws of the exploding golden wasps. City Master Ning used his own life to save our city. City Master Ning. City Master Ning is eternal. Some of the cultivators who did not understand how the void exploding golden wasps managed to escape immediately understood what was going on. Even the cold-blooded cultivators felt grateful at this moment and cheered. Only Ji Luofei and Yi Zhuzu felt worried. With so many void exploding golden wasps, could Ningcheng hide from them? Shin Zimo on seeing this quickly spoke up again. Before City Master Ning left, he told me that the rootless Black City belongs to all of us. Although the exploding golden wasps have left, it is hard to guarantee that no other void monstrous beasts would come here in the future. Therefore we have to hurry up and set up the city protecting Grand Array. At this moment, no matter what Shin Zimo said, everyone would respond. Not a single person would stand up and say even half a word against it. Compared to the ease of the rootless Black City, Ningcheng was indeed struggling. 3 days later, he finally understood why the scarlet-robed youth hid inside the exploding golden wasp swarm to heal. Previously, he had only activated the energy button of the void battleship. However, It was not until just now that he found the energy indicator for the void battleship. From the energy indicator, Ning Cheng could see that there was not much energy left. According to the current consumption rate of the void battleship, it would take at most half a month for the energy to run out. The scarlet-robed youth feared that the energy would run out. Since his injuries had not healed, he did not throw away the exploding golden wasps. Therefore, he decided to lure the exploding golden wasps away to massacre the city, while he took advantage of the gap to heal. It was not until the fourth day that Ning Cheng found the void coordinate map of the void battleship. At the same time, he also learned how to control the direction of the battleship without using his spiritual consciousness, allowing his sea of consciousness to finally relax. Otherwise, using his spiritual consciousness to guide the direction of the void battleship would have been too tiring. Because his spiritual consciousness relaxed, Ning Cheng's void battleship's speed also soared. Initially, some of the exploding golden wasps were able to overtake the void battleship, but Ning Cheng quickly left them behind. Nevertheless, Ning Cheng still felt very worried in his heart. This void battleship could only fly for half a month at most. What about after half a month? According to Ning Cheng's original idea, he intended to lure the void explosive golden wasps away from the rootless Black City, before sending out the explosive golden wasps' Wasp King egg. As long as those void explosive golden wasps obtain the Wasp King egg, he should be safe. After all, he never thought of occupying 2 void explosive golden wasps' Wasp King eggs. However, this place was too close to the rootless Black City. Moreover, he had heard that the void explosive golden wasps were very vengeful demonic insects. Once these explosive golden wasps obtained the Wasp King egg, then these explosive golden wasps would most likely return to the rootless Black City to massacre the entire city. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng felt even more uncertain in his heart. The scarlet-robed youth must have obtained the explosive golden wasp king egg from the Blue Essence Stone Mine mountain range. However, he did not know if there were any explosive golden wasps among these explosive golden wasps that he had seen before. If there were, then maybe these explosive golden wasps would recognize him as the culprit behind the theft of the explosive golden wasp's Wasp King egg. If the void explosive golden wasps recognized him, then even if he handed over the 2 explosive golden wasps' Wasp King eggs, it would not end well for him. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng suddenly felt a headache. If he wanted to completely solve this problem, then he had to completely exterminate these explosive golden wasps. However, with so many void explosive golden wasps, it was almost impossible for him to exterminate them all. Seeing that the energy inside the void battleship was getting lower and lower, Ning Cheng started to feel more and more anxious. At this moment, Ning Cheng's only hope was the scarlet-haired youth's ring. The red-haired youth's ring's restriction was somewhat complex, and even Ning Cheng could not fully unlock it in a short time. What he thought was that once he unlocked the red-haired youth's ring, he would have enough energy to lure these void explosive golden wasps as far away as possible. On the 13th day, Ning Cheng saw that the energy indicator on the void battleship's energy indicator was getting lower and lower, causing him to feel more and more anxious. These explosive golden wasps were like maggots in a tarsal bone, with hundreds of them following him. As long as he slowed down even a little, the rest of the explosive golden wasps would quickly catch up. At this time, he had not even unlocked the restriction on the scarlet-robed youth's ring, let alone using the energy inside to replenish the void battleship. Just as Ning Cheng was anxiously thinking of countermeasures, he saw a bright spot on the void battleship's monitoring screen. As the bright spot grew clearer and clearer, Ning Cheng quickly judged that it was a flight-type weapon. This flight-type weapon was obviously flying in his direction, causing Ning Cheng to feel even more anxious in his heart. After fighting with the scarlet-robed youth, he knew that his cultivation was nothing compared to the endless void. This flight-type weapon dared to follow the explosive golden wasps unscrupulously, which meant that it definitely was not an ordinary person. Sure enough, Ning Cheng saw the flight-type weapon rushing into the swarm of void explosive golden wasps. The void explosive golden wasps, which could massacre an entire city, simply could not withstand a single blow in front of this flight-type weapon. Large swathes of them were killed. They simply couldn't stop this flying magic treasure for even half a breath of time. Nevertheless, the swarm of void-explosive golden wasps still swarmed towards Ningcheng, and not a single one of them retreated. Ningcheng's heart sank even more. He could not deal with these exploding golden wasps. But now that such a terrifying expert had appeared, what could he do? This expert must have felt the aura of the exploding golden wasp's Wasp King egg, and decided to chase after them. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.